Ladies and gentlemen, a good evening, and thank you for joining us for our BVarsity Game Night of the Week. I am Trevor Horn, and I am joined along with new Californian sports editor Teddy Feinberg. We are live here at Sam Tobias Field on the campus of Garces High School as the Rams host Bakersfield High in the Southwest Yosemite League opener for both programs. First things first, I want to welcome Teddy to town, to Kern County, to Bakersfield, to the Californian. We welcomed you yesterday on the broadcast on BVarsity Live, Teddy. Here we are in game night. Tell our viewers who you are and why you were so excited to be here in Bakersfield.
Well, obviously, first week here, got here Monday, first day of work was on Monday morning, and it's great to be here, man. I come here from Pennsylvania, worked in New Mexico for about 7 years, worked in PA for about 3, and now I'm in Bakersfield. Excited to be here, though, like you said, Trev. I mean, the bottom line is this. High school sports has always been a big part of my life, and covering them professionally has always been a big part of my life. But I think the high school ball here is going to be a cut above, to be perfectly honest with you. We were in the Garces locker room pregame talking to Coach Gass. We went out to the Bakersfield practice field pregame talking to Coach Gola. And just from what I see across the board, I think we're going to be in for a good game tonight. And I think for the remainder of this season, I'm going to see a high level of ball. And for that reason alone, I'm really excited.
Well, I don't think anybody in town and in Kern County or the Central Section will disagree with you at all. And we welcome you to town, Teddy, and we're excited to have you here on the call tonight. What we have tonight is a Bakersfield team that started this season with a 16-0 victory over Edison out of Fresno. The defense looked great. The offense looked a little suspect, but we kind of knew that going in because it was such a young offensive line. And then the Drillers went on a 3-game just rough shed. First, it was against Orem out of Utah in the Brothers in Arms Classic down in Mission Viejo. They lost to Orem with a running clock. It was a hot day. Nobody was really ready for it. That was a very good Orem team. Happens to be the number 4 team in the state out there in Utah. A week after that, they go to Chaminade. Chaminade, a team that's ranked 15th in the nation. They get a running clock against them there. And then one more time, they go down to Valencia, a team ranked in the top 25 in the state. And they had a tough loss down there. So you look at that BHS team and you wonder exactly what they're going to do when they finally start seeing Central Section opponents. Well, what they saw last week was a 30-9 win at home, and they finally opened up Griffith Field, which had been under the construction for the last 2 years for the 94-year-old stadium. They looked good at points, but the defense once again looked very dominating against Central Section opponents. Only one touchdown given up in 8 quarters.
Yeah, I think their 2-3 record's extremely deceiving. I mean, I think their 3 losses, as you alluded to, Trevor, I think was against top-notch competition. I think when they play teams more on their level, in their wheelhouse, they're going to roll. I think this is a talented team, and the reality is this. I mean, on paper, I think that they should win this game this evening. They're on the road. They're at Garces. But I wouldn't take their 2-3 record at face value, and I don't think you would.
And you don't want to take the Garces 0-5 record at face value either. This is a very young Garces team. Obviously, you could see that, Teddy. You met 2 of their former standouts tonight. Connor Bruce, who had a second surgery as a freshman at Cal Poly, was their standout quarterback and was also a great 100 and 200 meter, was a state qualifier his junior year. And then Cameron Roberson, who obviously has been at lights out over BC, first 5 games of the season for the Renegades. They're both here in attendance tonight. What you have is a very young yet talented Garces team that has played St. John Bosco, a team that's ranked 4th in the nation, 3rd in the state. They had a very tough loss against BCHS to start the season, an overtime loss up on the mountain against Tehachapi. They lost against Edison last week. The week before that, when they lost LeBrevion Austin, who was by far their best explosive playmaker, to a dislocated elbow. They were down 35-17 and actually made it a game and lost 49-42 to San Joaquin Memorial during the Holy Bowl.
Yeah, and I don't think it's any secret. I mean, they're going to look. They're going to go out there. They're going to spread the field. They're going to look to run the rock. They got their bowling ball of a back, Isaiah Martin. He's a power back. I don't think he's a lot of fun to tackle, to be perfectly honest with you. So they're going to look to run the football against Bakersfield High. Bakersfield obviously likes to run the ball too. They come out of their triple option offense. They're going to look to ground and pound also. So it's going to be a run-oriented game. I do think Bakersfield can open it up a little bit here and there. But the reality is this: Bakersfield cannot beat themselves. They can't take stupid penalties. They cannot turn the football over. They need to play within themselves. If they do that, they probably hold an edge. But like I said, I don't think Martin's a lot of fun to tackle. He's a big guy. He's a strong back. He's a power back, and he's going to run it right at you.
Couldn't agree with you more,
Thank
sir.
you.
let's go ahead and show you the captains right now on the field for Garces. Number 20, senior running back Isaiah Martin, the gentleman that we've been talking about. Senior linebacker Jack Tobias, number 30 there in the middle. Also number 5, senior linebacker Brian Pantoja. And number 12, Austin Giggy, a senior wide receiver, is also their punter, their kicker, their everything for them. On the BHS side, from right to left, that is number 78, Big Justin Watkins. And if I can see this properly, that is Federico Salam, number 27, senior linebacker. And if Teddy, if you can give me the eyes on that, I would assume that is number 23, Keontae Bell, the transfer from South High. And then on the very far left, I can't see the number here right now.
Sorry, Trev, I can't either. You're right on Bell. That's a fact.
But one injury update for
it's 28 at the end.
It is number 28. I appreciate that is Jacob Zymet, the defensive tackle and backup running back for the Drillers. Coin toss going on right now. So we do have the coin toss right now. Garces will be without LeBrevion Austin, who hopes to come back. Garces will receive to open this one up. So the Rams will get the ball first with sophomore quarterback Joseph Campbell at the helm. What we also have is an injury update for BHS. Senior wide receiver, defensive back Isaiah Jernigan. I apologize. He is a junior. I just feel like I've been calling his name so many times over the last 2 years that he has to be a senior. Same thing that we say with Taj Wright. He will be out tonight. Not Taj Wright. That is Isaiah Jernigan. His little brother Isaac will be playing. As you see right now, the Drillers are on the field with that beautiful American flag and the BHS flag as well. Right before we came on the air, ladies and gentlemen, there was a moment of silence here because this is obviously a real-life tough week for all of us in Kern County. 5 lives lost in that just horrific massacre that happened in Las Vegas Sunday night. When you have anything happening in Las Vegas, it usually reverberates right back to Kern County because we do spend so much time with each other in those 2 cities. And so when you look at instances like that, all you can do is just hope that you can have a community as great as Kern County rally around each other like we have. And to be able to have that moment of silence for those 5 souls gone because of a senseless act by a lunatic, you can only hope and take solace in that, and that we come together as a community. So to those families that lost lives, to those families that are affected by that massacre, our hearts and prayers are with all of you.
I echo all those thoughts. Definitely thinking of everyone out there. And I've only been here a week, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out this is a city. There's a lot of people that live here, but it's a community at heart. And when something like that happens, it clearly hits home, especially when the reality is it's right in your backyard.
Yeah. I just wanted to be able to speak on that for just a second. But what we do have is a football game here, and a football game is what we're going to have, folks. It's the Southwest Yosemite League opener. BHS 2-3 against Garces, still winless. 2 of the top strength of schedules in the Central section. 2 teams that have had a lot of history, a lot of championships on the line here to start off league play here on October 6, 2017. And we are off, ladies and gentlemen. It is a short pooch kick to the right, picked up right at the 20-yard line. Number 2 for Garces.
It's Daniel Tobias on the return out
Daniel
to the 26th.
Tobias, yes.
Tobias, my mistake.
Again, Teddy, he is a newbie. He will understand there are
3 or 4 days in, I'm on the broadcast, so cut me some slack.
There are a few names.
I think so.
There is the Anton Giovanni's, there are the Lacavas, and there are the Tobiases here at Garces High School. Those are names that you will be very familiar with very quickly. We will not say anything against you if you do that. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. So the Rams get the ball first, and they are at their own 26-yard line, 1st and 10. That is Joseph Campbell at quarterback, joined in the backfield by senior running back Isaiah Martin.
Now, again, they're going to spread the football field. 3 wide receivers down your screen there, 1 wide receiver, but they're going to go to Martin, and they do right out of the chute.
And right out the gate, and there he goes, busted up for a first down, about 13 yards, and he had nothing but a head of steam in front of him. Nice opening run for Isaiah Martin, 14 yards to the 40. So if you're A.J. Gass, you definitely love to see that right out the gate, being able to run the ball against this BHS defense. And Teddy, you've seen defenses like this, but they are unique regardless.
Well, there's no doubt. Only 1 down lineman there. They're going to have 7 guys standing up at times. Definitely unorthodox defense, and I think that's what Coach Gola really brings to the table here. They're going to bring it at you. They're going to cause havoc along the front seven. And it's unconventional. You have to be ready. They're going to bring it from a lot of different angles. It's probably their bread and butter, and it's just going to be interesting to see how Garces runs the football against a hard-nosed defense like that.
That was a second down incompletion from Campbell to Austin Giggy, so it is 2nd and 10 now here at the 40. Once again, Martin with the ball goes up the middle, gets about 4 yards to the 44. So we've got 3rd and long here, 3rd and 6 at the 44. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, we know how many times the coaching staff here at Garces is willing to give it to Isaiah Martin because they gave it to him 47 times in that 49-42 loss.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. So here we go. Campbell back to pass. He's got one-on-one coverage.
Oh, wow.
Incomplete pass. Nice coverage there by that is Cameron Williams, who is a guy that we will see a quarterback here in just a second. Nice pass there to Zach Hebert from Campbell. So they did have a nice one-on-one coverage there. They had the right look. He just overthrew him by just a tad.
They have a term for a back like Martin, workhorse.
Workhorse.
Absolute workhorse.
Bowling ball, whatever you want to call it.
Clearly a power back.
What we do know
Clearly
what he
a
is
back.
he's one of the best backs in the land.
No question.
So punt here for Garces. It gets down to about the 30. Keontae Bell says, Peter, and it looks like Garces will down it right at the 7-yard line. So that's where the Drillers will start for the first time.
That's not great field position, clearly.
So they're at their 7-yard line. Well, it'll be interesting to see who they do bring out at quarterback. Still waiting. It looks like it is Caden Ochoa, number 12 there, will start off at quarterback in this first series. I apologize. He turned the corner. It is Cameron Williams. So he was there, one-on-one coverage there in the secondary on that last play. Takes a quick little, breather on the punt return, and here we are. They've actually given them the ball at the 23-yard line, which is interesting. I don't know how that happened. So here we are in the option. It goes outside, and it looks like that is Keontae Bell with the ball, and he gets up to the 35-yard line. So just like Garces did, the first play is a run for the Drillers, and it is a first down up to the 35-yard line, I believe. So
they're
a 14-yard run for Garces on their first play, a 13-yard run to the 35.
They're going to look to run the football. The key is this: when Williams is in there, they can throw it as well. So right when they catch you napping, see right here, they're going to go up top.
There it is.
That's an incomplete pass.
That was a pass intended for Taj Wright. It looked as if maybe they could have gone with the hitch. They could have gone with the go. They stuck with the hitch, and it was just a little bit out of reach for Taj Wright, a guy who we saw last year as a sophomore breakout, had one-handed catches for the Drillers while they were playing road games all over town.
Now, from my understanding, when Williams is in there, they can go up top. When Ochoa is in there, they might even be a little more run-oriented, just FYI.
Very much so. Here's the ball up the middle. It is a keeper by Williams. Doesn't seem to get much. Dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe got a half yard. We're going to give him 1 yard on that to the 36. So we got a 3rd and 9 now for the Drillers. And this is a point where Williams is the better quarterback of the two for the Drillers because he does have that ability to drop the ball deep. So you got to think if Justin McGill is out there. So we've got Isaac Jernigan and Taj Wright down here at the bottom and Justin McGill up top. So you got 3 top-end receivers for BHS. It is a straight drop back. He gets it out to the sophomore. Isaac Jernigan gets it over across the 50. That is a first down. So on a 3rd and 9, BHS does exactly what they needed to do, and that is Cameron Williams to the sophomore Isaac Jernigan, and they get it over the 50-yard line to the 48. So a 16-yard pass for the Drillers. 15-yard pass, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize, to the 49. So that's exactly what they needed to do. They put Taj Wright long. They went underneath with the 5-yard out, and Jernigan does what he needed to do after that with the yards after catch. So here we are, 1st and 10 at the 49 for BHS. First time either team has been in the other's territory. Williams, keeper, gets stuck behind the line of scrimmage by Jack Tobias for a 1-yard gain for the Drillers.
They clearly have some athletes on the outside. They clearly have an athlete in the backfield. And I know their offensive line was a little young coming into the year, but when you have an offense like this that you can run the football, you use a little misdirection, you got the triple option, that can help bring a young offensive line along. So while you might think the O-line could possibly be a weak link going into the year, the reality is the offense kind of caters to them coming on as the season goes along.
Williams drop back. Out to Justin McGill, the senior who was out last week. He gets his first catch of the night up to the 41-yard line at about 7 yards on that. So we've got 3rd and 2 now at the 41. So Williams has now targeted all 3 of his top receivers with Isaiah Jernigan out. His younger brother Isaac is the number 3 option behind Justin McGill and Taj Wright.
3rd and 2 situation here, and it looks like Williams is lining back up under center. Am I correct in that, Trev?
That is correct, and there you have Keontae Bell in the deep.
Oh,
it
dear.
Is a pitch.
Fumble.
Fumble on the ground, and Garces has recovered it. A fumble to Isaac Jernigan, dropped on the ground, and that is number 16, P.J. Hernandez, with the fumble recovery. So the worst thing you could do on 3rd and short for the Drillers at midfield is fumble the ball, and that's exactly what they do. And P.J. Hernandez, Johnny on the spot there, picks it up after Brian Pantoja with a nice hit for the Rams, and Garces with their best field position of the night because of the defense. So here we are, the Rams. It is 8:34 left here in the first quarter. We are here at Sam Tobias Field at the campus of Garces High School against BHS. We are scoreless. Isaiah Martin with the run on first down. Scoots about 2 yards to the 48. We're going to give him 1 yard there.
Well, you're exactly right, Trevor. And the key here is the turnover at midfield. You mentioned that. Turnovers, penalties. Bakersfield clearly wants to avoid that. On Garces' end, they'll live with those 7 or 8 yard dinks and dunks. They just can't give up the big play defensively. So they forced the turnover early. Now they have to capitalize off that mistake, but so far so good.
Martin one more time on the handoff, gets across midfield to the 45, so 7 yards there. So we got about a 3rd and 2 now at the 45. The workhorse, Isaiah Martin, doing exactly what he needs to do, and that's just run the ball. I know you haven't met him in person, Teddy, but when you do, he just looks like a guy that's just willing to just hit it straight up the middle because he's not big. He's 5'8", but he is wide, but he's not fat. He's strong. He's a great wrestler.
Yeah, I was going to say he's a wrestler as well.
So we have a flag on the play.
And
Let's
this is
exactly
going to be offsides on Bakersfield.
Offsides against BHS, so that's going to be a first down for the Rams. So here you go, a winless team like Garces. They're going to take opportunities, and when you hand it to them like a fumble and then you give them penalties like that, they're going to take the ball to the 40. This is exactly
what we said. Yeah.
This is exactly what they want to do.
That's
Grant
exactly
Campbell,
right.
Joseph's older brother, was a great quarterback for Garces before he played at Baylor. So you got to think the sophomore is going to – he's a big body guy here, and he wants to play some football, and he hands it off to his running back one more time. Martin, sure-handed, down to the 36, 4 yards on that gain. So we got 2nd and 6. So here we go. Garces is a team that if they can just kind of ground and pound it, get a few catches here and there from their receivers out of their sophomore quarterback, maybe they could put some points up here on the board and get an early start and some momentum.
Yeah, it's pretty apparent under Coach Gass they're a scrappy team. He is a former college player at Fresno State. Maybe had a cup of coffee in the NFL, not sure on that. Long story career in the CFL, and they're going to play hard-nosed football, and he's going to be right by the first down stick again up to the 31.
Martin one more time. He breaks the first tackle, bounces off the second, and gets a couple more yards, and he's down to the 31. A 5-yard gain, so we've got his 3rd in inches really right now, folks. So here we go again. I would put all the money I have on the table, and I know exactly what Garces is going to do here, but you got to bet, BHS knows it, but they don't know if they can stop it either because of how lethal he is and how well he runs the ball. And here it is, a short yardage run. Martin gets the ball. He bounces off one more time.
He had to get to the 30. He got down to the 29.
Oh, that's all he needed to do. And when you need 1 yard and you get 2, sometimes you just say thanks, bud, and you move on and you restart. You get a new, you get a first down. You get 4 more downs to go just because he was able to get 2 instead of 1 yard there.
No question.
So there you go. We're at the 29-yard line. 6:06 left here in the first quarter. I am Trevor Horn, joined with our new sports editor, Teddy Feinberg. We're here at Garces. It is 0-0 tie. Rams with the ball, driving into BHS territory. Campbell steps back. Great pressure there. He gets the ball away. Off to Zach Hebert with the catch. Pushed out of bounds right around the 21-yard line. So it's going to be 2nd and short, but there you go. You run. What happens? The defense comes up, and they do exactly what they need to do. Nice scramble there by Campbell, and he connects with Hebert on the catch.
Yeah, that was a nice play to get out of the pocket there. He found his wide receiver, and we're looking at a 2nd and short again. And this kind of opens up the playbook here. Pistol formation. Now Martin moves over to his left-hand pocket. I think they're going on the ground.
There he going off to the left, takes a step right, goes left, gets a few yards. He's up to the 17-yard line. So, again, a 3-yard carry. If you keep getting 3 yards, and you bust for 5, what does that do for you, Teddy? That continues getting you first downs on this second drive of the game for the Rams.
They're doing what they want. They got 4 first downs. They forced a turnover. They got 1 first down, a penalty. They're eating up clock here. 5:40 to go in the first quarter. Nothing football game, but they're inside the red zone. They want to keep Bakersfield's offense off the field. When they're not on the field, they can't create big plays, and that's what Garces doesn't want to happen.
2-back set goes to Martin. He breaks to the right, gets up just short of the 15-yard line. So he gets about 1 yard there out of the shotgun formation. So we got second and long here. But you know what? 7-yard, a 7-drive play, and you've really only had to go 35 yards, but they're doing exactly what they need to do. Garces does have a very young and inexperienced O-line, but one thing that you can see is they are very big, and if they can get better, they're going to be very dominating. So Martin, that's exactly what he wants. He takes the ball, breaks off, goes up, gets into the 10-yard line, up to the 7. So a big 9-yard run for Martin and a first and goal now for Garces.
Martin, 9 carries, 46 yards early on. They're giving him the football. They make no secret what they're going to do. They spread the field, they give it to their power back, and they let them rumble up the middle.
So you got 3 downs here to get 7 yards. You got to figure, exactly what they're going to do, but do they at some point break off and try to get a short out here? Martin, one more time. He is Swarmed, really, exactly. That's the right adjective I was looking for. That's exactly what he was. Swarmed right at the line of scrimmage. So now you got second and goal at the 7. After that, now it kind of limits exactly what you can do. You can't really ask him to run it 2 more times right up the middle if the defense is collapsing. So maybe you do a play action here. What do you think, Teddy?
I think basically they're going to pick and choose their spots through the air. I think they're going to give it to their workhorse one more time and see if he can pound it in.
And that is Nick Tobias also in the backfield with Campbell and Martin. And it looks
we
like
have another
we do
flag.
have another jump from BHS. That's another free 5 yards. And when you've got second and goal at the 7 and you're going to give him 5 yards, you might as well just say, hey, Isaiah Martin, go ahead and try to run it in from the 2 now, because that's exactly what he's going to be able to do.
Well, and I'm not saying this to be trivial, so please don't take it the wrong way. With Bakersfield High, I think pound for pound has a bit more talent. When I say don't turn the football over, don't create penalties, that's code word for don't beat yourself. And right now,
that's exactly what it is. So once again, a
it.
shotgun set. Nobody to the right. Martin gets the ball, spins, beautiful spin move, gets up to about the 2-yard line. So he gets 2 yards on that carry from the 4. So Martin one more time. He shows the ground and pound, but he's also got the moves. Nice spin move there right at the line of scrimmage. Allowed to give himself 2 more yards.
Well, you alluded to a 40-plus carry game earlier this season. I believe he may have had 38 last week. So they give this kid the football, and they let him do his thing. That is their bread and butter, ground and pound with the big back.
Biggest play of the night right here, Teddy. 3rd and goal at the 2. Joseph Campbell going under center. Martin right behind him.
Touchdown.
Breaks out, touchdown, breaks to the right, and Isaiah Martin, senior running back for Garces, gets the Rams on the ball first. On the board is 3:18 left here in the first quarter, and Garces leads BHS 6-0. That's what happens when you turn the ball over at midfield. You give a team that's got a running back like Isaiah Martin, and they're able to give them to him. How many times on that? 8 carries on that drive.
Yeah, we're looking at 8 carries on that drive. He gained, I believe, 33 yards on the drive. And the reality is you also got to give them credit. They forced the action with the turnover, but they also cash in with 7 points off of that turnover. They're up 7-0 on the scoreboard. Let's see how Bakersfield High responds, because, again, they want to create the big play offensively. How are they going to respond here? Garces is doing what they got to do early on in this football game.
Very much so. That was Peter Delis with the point after. So it is 7-0 Garces here with 3:18 left in the first quarter. This is our BVarsity game night of the week. BHS at Garces. We thank Garces Memorial High School for their contribution and their help here putting this broadcast on. Scores around the county right now. Highland with a big 28-7 lead at the end of the first quarter over Foothill and SEYL action. Will Alexander with a 25-yard touchdown pass to Zach Hernandez, and Centennial leads Stockdale 7-0 with 9:06 left in the first quarter. We got John Metis. He's hanging out at his homecoming at West. So they're hanging out. Dante Mason getting to ride on the back of the pickup truck at West.
Love that
Great
shot.
video there. We've got Stephen Lynch. He'll be at Frontier Liberty. That game, JV game went long, so we've got a late start there. So stick with us. We'll keep you updated all throughout. And it's now 35-7 Highland over Foothill. Zeke Arambola with takes the ball 14 yards to the end zone. So the Scots are running away with this one early in the second quarter. Kickoff will go down into the end zone, so BHS will start off their second drive of the night from their own 20. And I'll tell you this right now, if I'm Paul Gola and you've got offensive coordinator Sean McEwen right next to us, guess what they're telling their guys?
What are they telling them?
Hang on to the dang ball.
Oh, there's no question about that. And I think that they're going to find themselves, obviously, with this triple option attack. But, it's going to start sooner rather than later, I think. But they definitely can't shoot themselves in the foot. That's super important.
Thank you to Spencer Hermson, our producer extraordinaire, setting us up here tonight. So we appreciate you. I always get your last name wrong, but someday I'll get it right. Thanks, Spence. Appreciate it. We got
have
Rita
a great
Michelle
evening
here
now.
We got Rita Michelle on the camera.
And we're on top of the press box here. People might not recognize that. We're actually on top of the Garces press box coming from you live on BVarsity. So we have just a fascinating
You got
angle.
a beautiful view of all of Bakersfield right now.
Trevor, who had the carry there?
That looked like Keontae Bell. I was saying
apologies.
goodbye to Spencer, but BHS does have the ball. No yards on that first play, so Williams drops back. Pump fake, has to come out, getting great pressure there. And once again, Jack Tobias there with the sack. The senior linebacker, one of the best heady players, 6 foot, 200-pound linebacker. Great pressure there on Williams. Williams unable to get away, so the 5-yard sack. So now we've got 3rd and 15 for BHS from their own 15-yard line because Jack Tobias, a 3-year starter on the defensive side of the ball for Garces, does exactly what a senior leader should be doing, and that's getting into the backfield and getting the sack. So now we've got a 3rd and long from their own 15. So BHS already down 7-0 to Garces. Needs to do something here. Williams rolls out, connects with Justin McGill. And ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what they need to do. They need 15 yards on that. They got 18. So BHS with the completion from Williams to McGill is up to the 33-yard line.
Williams is a heck of an athlete. They got athletes on this football team. They got athletes in the city. He gets out of the pocket. He throws the football. If I'm not mistaken, he received an offer from the University of Arizona.
Arizona, yes, Nevada as well, and Weber State. Justin McGill, who had Wyoming on campus this week, looking at him with the catch there for the senior wideout. So a pistol formation for BHS. Now Keontae Bell in the backfield. McGill up top, and that's exactly who Williams looks for this time. Nice catch there, and then gains an extra 2 yards after taking the contact and moving forward. So an 8-yard gain for BHS. So 2 quick passes from Williams to McGill, and BHS starting at their own 20, then a sack back to their 15. They're quickly creeping to midfield, now at the 42 with 2nd and short.
Yeah, I think they can move the football here. They just need to play within themselves and not shoot themselves in the foot.
Williams with the option now out to Keontae Bell. This kid can do some things with the football, and he does just that. Breaks it up, cuts through, takes the player with him, and he gets past midfield up to the 49. There is a flag in the backfield, though. You got to figure that's going to be a holding call against BHS. So once again, the drillers shooting themselves in the foot defensively and now offensively with penalties.
No, Trev, correct me if I'm wrong here, because the last thing I want to do. Oh, we got a personal foul against Garces, so flip the script. That's going to be a first down. It might be more than just that.
So there you go. You've got what assumes to be an 11-yard run for Bell to the 48. You're going to tack on another 15. And so right there, it is not BHS shooting themselves in the foot. It is Garces with a 7-0 lead. Gives an extra 15 yards to a potent BHS offense. So now we have 1st and 10 for the drillers at the Garces 34.
Well,
Williams under center.
They're going to feed the ball to Bell. Now, Trev, correct me if I'm wrong, because the last thing I want to do is misspeak on an injury. But if I'm not mistaken, Shane Jones was really a standout back for them, tore his ACL during basketball season. He's not on the football field, but he would be the number 1 guy back there.
He would. He would be the number 1 guy probably around Kern County and the Central Section. Gavin Dingle there, number 20 with the run for BHS down to the 30, about 4 yards there. Shane Jones, I was told this week by Paul Gola that they are going to go back and work on his knee just a little bit more. His career is going to be long and far beyond high school, and so he needs to look at the next level, probably junior college, likely at BC next year, and then moving on from that. But he is one of the best running backs I've seen at the high school level in some time.
It's also worth noting an ACL injury during basketball season. For him to come back this early in the year would be, not saying he couldn't do it, but that would be a pretty quick recovery in my estimation.
Williams to Taj Wright. Taj takes a stutter, gets about 3 more yards yards, and he's up to the 21-yard line. 9-yard carry. That is now a first down for BHS. So Williams to Taj Wright. So he's showing that he has weapons here. Gavin Dingle going off the field. Here comes Williams to set it up. But when you look at guys like Taj Wright and Justin McGill and sophomore Isaac Jernigan, even when his older brother Isaiah is not out there are weapons for the Drillers.
No, make no mistake. Williams is clearly the dual threat player at the quarterback position for them. He can run, but he clearly can drop back. Here's Bell again.
Option to Bell. Spin. Woo! Beautiful spin. 1 week after we saw him leap over a defender against Ridgeview, he has a beautiful spin move. I think I've done that on Madden a few times, Teddy.
Yeah, that's the only place I've done it, and I have done it on Madden.
So now it is a first and goal off that spin move for Keontae Bell, and the Drillers are down to the 7-yard line. We do have a timeout here. Excuse me. It is the end of the first quarter, Teddy, with Garces leading BHS 7-0, but the Drillers now in the red zone, now at the 7-yard line. Teddy, what do you do here if you're Paul Gola coming out?
Well, it's not rocket science. I run my offense, I do what I do, and I score. I get in the end zone. I mean, I think that they clearly can run the ball, and if they have to drop back Williams, they clearly can do that too. So, but I think I would keep it simple. I would stick on the ground, and I would do my thing. And I think Williams could be due for a touchdown on the ground also. Definitely a beautiful evening here. Old school rivalry here too. It's two football teams. The history goes back an awful long way. Garces has a tremendous history. Maybe a little down this year with an 0-5 record, but quality coach and Coach Gass. And they're going to be right there when it's all said and done. And in terms of Bakersfield High, I mean, their pedigree speaks for itself as well with Coach Gola. Both, quality teams. Bakersfield probably the favorite going into this one tonight. I believe Trevor picked them to win by a sizable margin. So did Josh Bennett, our fellow worker at the Californian. But Garces is giving them all they can handle in true rivalry form. 7-0 Garces. First and goal here from the 7. Pistol formation. Williams in the backfield. Bell right behind him. 2 wide left.
Option out to Bell. He goes past. Gets past the first defender and into the end zone. A 7-yard run for Keontae Bell. And BHS responds just like that after a 3rd and 15 at their own 15-yard line. They only needed 6 plays after that, and they were on the board. And just like that, quick score for Keontae Bell.
And they played mistake-free on that drive. That's key. No penalties. Only penalty came on the personal foul against Garces. And BHS did basically what it wanted to. I think if they can just play mistake-free football, they should be able to move the rock pretty consistently.
So just like that, there is Rene Carrillo setting up for the point after. We got 11:51 left here in the second quarter. Cameron Williams sets it up, holds it down. Carrillo with the kick, and we are all tied, ladies and gentlemen. It's 7. 11:51 left here in the second quarter from Sam Tobias Field at Garces Memorial High School. Garces and BHS tied 7-7. So after BHS fumbles a ball at midfield, Garces is able to get the ball, hand it off to Isaiah Martin. They go 52 yards on the drive for the opening score on a 2-yard run by Martin. BHS responds. After a field position start at the 23, they're back to their 20, back to their 15 on a sack by Jack Tobias. Cameron Williams steps back, completes passes Justin Mill to Taj Wright, and allows Keontae Bell show some Madden-like moves there, and he gets his touchdown tonight, and it ties the ball game up here.
Yeah, Williams and McGill hooked up for a couple big receptions early on, and then Williams and Bell did the rest on the ground. Like I said, mistake-free football. They're going to cash in. They did right there. Let's see how Garces responds. And it's just going to be interesting because, they're not afraid to feed Martin, but is he in for another 40-carry game in this one? He's already up to 11. I don't think it's going to dissipate. What's this?
Got a flag on the field right at the 40s.
I think we have an offsides penalty here on Bakersfield. That's exactly what it is. They're going to bring it back 5 yards to the 35 and re-kick. Just a beautiful evening here, and we have the moon coming out as well. Really great night here.
It's an October sky. We do have a Friday the 13th next week, if you're worried about that at all, Teddy.
I can't say I'm incredibly superstitious, but whenever I see it on the calendar, I circle the day, and I try just to keep things at a minimum. Kickoff coming here from the 35-yard line, just flagged for a 5-yard penalty. And then they kick it out of bounds here, so they're going to get decent field position as well. Ball goes out of bounds to the 30, and I believe they're going to start things off at the 40-yard line, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be 1st and 10, Garces here, and I believe that will be at the 40-yard line.
Social media multitasking. Teddy, appreciate you catching me up and catching our viewers up on that. So we do have a 7-7 tie here at Garces. The Rams coming out for their 3rd drive of the game.
11:51 to go here in the second quarter. Like Trevor said, 7-7 football game.
Cody Hartsfield with an 8-yard TD run for Centennial, and they now lead Stockdale 14-2-0.
3 wide receiver left here for Campbell, 1 up top. Martin moves onto his left pocket here, and I think they're going to give it to the back, and they do
there
indeed.
There he goes again, busted up the middle.
Rumbling.
Keeps going, gets past the 45 to the 47. So a rumbling, stumbling, bumbling.
Well, you know what? A kid like that is just, he's not a fun kid to defend because he's going to get the ball a lot, and he's going to give you all he can handle. Just a tough player to deal with, and it's no secret either. He's going to pound the ball between the tackles. That's where he makes his money.
But when you know you're always going to get positive yardage, whether it's 3 yards, 2 yards, 5 yards, and then he busts up an 8-yard run, that's nothing but great things for the Rams as they get the ball again one more time. But in the backfield, great defense there for the Drillers. Jake Zamet, one of the captains tonight, grabs Martin in the backfield for the big loss back to the 44. So a 4-yard loss now makes it 3rd and 7 for the Rams. So there you go. You have Martin, who is bread and butter, is going up the middle, tries to break it out to the right. Great defensive pressure there by the Drillers, and gets a 4-yard loss.
Yeah, and this puts them in a passing situation here. I don't think they could run the ball with Martin and expect to get a first down.
Campbell drops back. Pass is tipped. Incomplete, intended for Austin Giggy, the senior wide receiver. So an incompletion on 3rd and long there for the Rams, and that's the last thing they want to do is get to midfield and have to punt it away because they're likely going to give the Drillers with Taj Wright standing right around the 30-yard line a chance for decent field position coming here with Peter Delis with the ball. Punts it away. There is whistle, and there's a flag.
Oh, they clearly want to keep it in a 3rd and short situation when it's 3rd and long. Dropping back, throwing the football. And not that they can't do it, they clearly can. But they want to spread the field. They want to give it to their big guy.
And Campbell has shown the ability to throw the ball.
Too many men
well
on the field on Bakersfield. That's going to set up a 4th and short. Now what's the call? Looks like they're going to go for it here, Trevor.
Well, I would if you've got the ball right here and you got a guy like Isaiah Martin. Yep. So they pull the punt team off. That's a big stumble for the Drillers on 4th down. The last thing that the coaching staff wants is too many guys on the field. That's just a dumb penalty.
Well, they're getting nickel and dimed here. 5 penalties for 30 yards. Garces has only 1 penalty so far.
So you got the offense coming out. Joseph Campbell is going to be under center. Of course, he's got Isaiah Martin with him. Right at the 49, handed off to Martin. Does he get it over? It looks like the pile is moving over the 50-yard line. He needed 1, and he got 2, ladies and gentlemen. So this drive for Garces goes from a 4th and 7 at the 44 to a now 1st and 10 at the 49 because too many men on the field for the Drillers. A really bad mistake there, and allows Garces to continue this drive at midfield.
Yeah, I mean, you can't allow that to happen. Obviously, they got what they wanted. They got the 3 and out, and they basically hand them a 4th and short situation. And Garces, they know what they're up against tonight. They know they have to roll the dice in that situation to go for it. And there's really not much dice rolling when you got the big boy in the backfield.
Well, and you don't want to. So there's a complete pass there from Joseph Campbell, and it looks like that is to, yes, it is, number 1, Zach Hebert. So a completion there down to the 43-yard line. So a 6-yard completion for the Rams.
Well, they're going to their guy out there, and they're throwing the ball just enough to keep him honest. Nice play call there. You pick it up, and at the very least, you're setting up a 2nd and manageable situation. You give the ball to Martin here. He's either going to bang it up for a first down, or he's going to bang it up to a 3rd and short scenario.
Well, and you keep the defense honest there when you're able to complete passes, short passes like that. But Martin does get the ball one more time, goes straight up the middle.
And he's got it again.
Caden Ochoa gets his hands on him, but it takes Ochoa twice, one of the best linebackers in the central section still needed a second effort to be able to bring down Isaiah Martin. Martin does get over the 40 to the 37, and it is a first down for the Rams. So you keep going back to penalties, Teddy.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is this. I mean, you know, we understand the situation. They're getting flagged. You know, Garces needs to get some breaks on their side in this one. They're getting them, and you know, you also got to credit them because, you know, they make it no secret. 15 carries, 61 yards for Martin. Now they're going to go to the air again. Little screen passing. He's got some room.
Austin Giggy with the catch, goes up, gets almost to the 30, dropped down right around the 31-yard line. So Joseph Campbell showing a little mobility there, breaks out to the left on the screen, picks up Giggy. Nice catch there because the ball was just out in front of him.
I mean, it's a nice first down play, too. And, again, as you alluded to, it keeps them honest. Now they have a second and short situation again, and they can keep Martin in the play calling and in the football game in second and short. In third and short, they're mixing in the pass just enough, and they're doing what they can to move the football.
In the shotgun, Joseph Campbell steps back. Nice block there by Martin.
He's got his man. First down, touchdown.
One more time. This time, a 30-yard touchdown pass. Wide open. Got behind the defense of Cameron Williams. And Zach Hebert, with a little bit of burst of speed, gets the catch and a 30-yard touchdown. And ladies and gentlemen, 0-5 Garces Rams now have a 13-7 lead over BHS with 8:32 left here in the second quarter. Teddy, what do you make of that play?
Well, I think it's great play calling. I mean, they opened up the playbook just enough. They mixed in the passing there. Hebert's keeping it real on the outside. 3 catches, 45 yards, the big 30-yard touchdown reception. So you got to give credit to the coaching staff. Bottom line is this: you can be really vanilla, you can be really predictable, but they're keeping Bakersfield high honest defensively. And again, when you keep them on the football field, it's going to hurt. They should have punted the ball. Bakersfield gave him the fourth and short. They pounded up the gut with Martin. And then, you know, then they hit him with the pass when they least expect it. They're up 14-7 in this big rivalry game.
Well, and you got to look at it too, Teddy, when you think about how have the Rams scored their 2 scores in this one. When you look at a fumble at midfield for BHS and they drive down 52 yards this time, they had 4th and 7, too many men on the field for BHS, allows the Rams to go for it at midfield on 4th and short, and then 3 plays later, it's Campbell to Hebert, and it's a 14-7 touchdown. So you say, stop shooting yourselves in the foot. That's exactly what BHS is doing.
It's not rocket science. Garces is playing mistake-free football, and Bakersfield can't get out of its own way right now. So, you know, the 14-7 score speaks for itself. Penalties, turnovers are key statistics in any football game, and right now Garces is on the winning end of both of those equations, and they're on the winning end of the scoreboard. At the moment, 8:32 to go. It's worth pointing out when Bakersfield High had the ball last time, they kept it clean. They moved it right downfield. They scored a touchdown. So if they just don't beat themselves, they're going to move the rock.
Liberty takes opening
Here
drive,
we go.
85 yards.
He's
scores
gone.
On a Sammy Stewart 1-yard touchdown run. BHS with the ball, and they get it all the way up to
That was
almost
Bell.
to midfield.
That was Bell on the
Bell
return. Yeah, that was.
And I'm telling you, when you look at the difference between South with Keontae Bell, like they were last year, to this year, you really see how much of a playmaker this young man is on both sides of the ball for the Drillers. Couple updates: Sammy Stewart 1-yard touchdown plunge gives Liberty a 6-0 lead over Frontier. Updates there from Stephen Lynch. Also, Nick Souza with a 26-yard field goal for Stockdale cuts the Centennial lead to 14-3 into the first quarter. Golden Valley misses a 47-yard field goal attempt. Score remains tied 0-0 between Ridgeview and Golden Valley.
Williams under center here, and he's going to give the ball, and I believe that's Bell.
That is Trayvon Jackson.
Trayvon
right
Jackson,
up the middle.
my mistake.
But, geez, look at that. I mean, you get the ball once and you get pushed back again. Not much you can do there. And it's actually Wesley Wilson, the sophomore, the standout sophomore that the Drillers are really excited about. He gets the ball there on the nice triple option fake. But the problem is he gets about 6 yards before that pile comes back. So you actually get some positive yards there. So we've got 2nd and 6 now. He gets 4 yards on that at the 41. Williams once again under center. This time there's a flag. The ball did go, but it looks like
this is on Bakersfield, I believe.
So you keep wanting to talk about shooting yourselves in the foot, and here we are. Penalty after penalty after penalty is making this night even more difficult for the Drillers.
Yeah, they've been flagged 6 times so far tonight, and most of the 5-yard variety, but, you know, it doesn't make it any easier. Garces is on the winning end of that statistic right here, right now. Still early. Bakersfield High just has to clean it up. It's real simple.
2nd 11 now from the 36 for BHS. Down 14-7. Bell gets the ball one more time. He gets it back to about the 39. So we got about 4 yards on that play. So we got a 3rd and long here for the Drillers. Cameron Williams, who was the only quarterback we've seen so far in the first 15 minutes of this game.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you were surprised at all they haven't turned to Ochoa at all.
I'm not. You got to leave Ochoa there at linebacker as much as you can. Williams stops back. Nice pressure, nice protection. Ball falls incomplete, short of Justin McGill. So on 3rd and long,
no, it's interesting because both of these teams, Williams is throwing the ball fine tonight, and to Campbell's credit, he's throwing the football well also. But I think both these teams would prefer to be in more 3rd and short situations. Right there was pretty much a passing down for Bakersfield High, and Williams couldn't connect. They're going to have to punt the football here again. So it's going to be interesting.
Homecoming for number 21 Independence, taking on Tehachapi. Halftime, 0-0 score, Teddy.
Not a lot of offense.
Astute observation.
Yeah, that was my observation for the night.
So junior Jake Moran with the punt goes down to about the 23-yard line. Garces will take over, but there is a BHS player down on the field, I believe, rolling around. It looks like it is number 32, if I'm not mistaken. That is Elijah Lee, who is going to have to be tended to. He is being tended to right now by BHS's head athletic trainer, Stephanie. So they're giving a good look, and so this will give us a chance to step back and look at this game. It is 14-7 Garces with 6:56 left here in the second quarter. So Garces, a team 0-5, but yet when you look at them, they're a team that's just out of the top 25 based on their strength of schedule, that they have not had a cupcake schedule whatsoever. And the same thing with BHS, number 4 in our BVarsity Live ranked Central Section top 25. Number 4, despite a 2-3 record. Why? Because those 3 losses are two teams ranked in the state top 25. One of them nationally, the other one's in the top 5 in Utah. So you look at BHS, but they've stubbed their own toe here numerous times, Teddy.
I mean, there's no doubt their 2-3 record is somewhat deceiving. I mean, their strength of schedule is very strong. This is going to be a key drive for Garces. We have 6:50 remaining here in the first half. They're up 14-7. They want to eat up clock. They want to keep the Bakersfield High offense off the football field. So what are they going to do here? Bakersfield High obviously wants to get the ball back, but if Garces can move the chains, if Garces can eat up some clock, if Garces can get back on the board again, we'll see how much time is left in the half. But this is a big drive for both football teams, offense and defense. But I think Garces is feeling good about themselves, and they know they can move the ball. So this is going to be a critical part of this football game, in my estimation.
Elijah Lee up on his own power, jogging off now with Stephanie, the head athletic trainer at BHS. So good to see him up and running. Like we said, we got a few dignitaries down here. Cameron Roberson is here in the stands. Same down on the field with Garces is Connor Bruce.
Obviously, Martin's back in the backfield. Campbell as well as back there. They have a bunch formation with 3 wide receivers on the bottom of your screen.
In the shotgun formation, Campbell does, ladies and gentlemen, hand it off to Isaiah Martin. So from the 26, he gets up to the 28, so about 2 yards there for Isaiah Martin.
Well, let's see what the play call is here. They had some success moving the football via the pass, and Campbell, he's gone out of the pocket. He's rolled around a little bit. They've been able to move the pocket a little bit. You mentioned Garces' line, inexperience to some degree, but the reality is they found ways to make it work. Campbell has just enough athleticism to get out of the pocket, throw on the run. He's made some things happen with his arm.
3 left, empty right. Martin gets the ball up the middle. First contact there, looks like big Jordan Phillips knocks Martin down, and he gets about a yard to the 29.
Yeah, and what we're having here as well, again, we're talking about that 3rd and long situation. We're looking at about a 3rd and 8. One would think they're going to throw the football here. Bakersfield High can kind of sit on pass, and Campbell's going to have to put it on the money here. This just isn't necessarily the position they want to be in, I don't think.
We see a change there at the offensive line for Garces. So maybe a little pass pro protection here We'll see what happens in the shotgun formation. Campbell back, steps back, fires it off. Incomplete pass intended for Drew Mosley.
Well, Bakersfield did what they had to do. They got the 3 and out. Now they got to stay penalty free. Last time they got the 3 and out, and they had the offsides penalty, if you remember correctly, on the punt. Stay out of that category. Keep yourself in a positive situation. See what you can do on the punt return.
Well, that's exactly what they needed to, because now they're at the 29-yard punting off, and then that gives Bell and Wright both the ability to have that big playmaking ability. So the ball bounces. Wright says no thank you. The ball goes down all the way to the 31, so that's where BHS will start off at their own 31-yard line. It is 5:24 left here in the second quarter. This is the BVarsity game night of the week. Garces leads BHS 14-7. We thank you, Garces Memorial, for your contribution to this broadcast tonight.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us. Thanks for welcoming BVarsity out here. Beautiful evening here. Great crowd here. Obviously, good crowd for the storied rivalry game. We're on top of the press box, oversee the whole field, and it's a pleasure to be here.
And if there was any dignitaries is my deacon, David Rodriguez, down there right around the 20-yard line.
True dignitaries.
Love that fella right there. Appreciating him and everything he does for our family. So here we are at the 31-yard line for
Ochoa?
the Drillers. Caden Ochoa is back in, and he hands off right away to, it looks like Keontae Bell. Gets past the 30, up to the 32, so a 1-yard gain here. So this is the first chance we've seen Caden Ochoa at quarterback. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what Caden Ochoa decided to do this week, he had a big announcement on Sunday
Cal
night.
Poly.
He decided that he is going to play football at the next level at Cal Poly, so he's going to stay here in the central area and stay and play for the Mustangs.
Now help me out here. I believe he's going to be playing on the defensive side of the
Yes,
ball.
he will.
Or am I jumping?
He will be a linebacker, rover, safety at that position. At his size, at 6 foot 180, perfect for that defense.
Well, they're rarely going to throw the football with him in the football game.
So here's Bell one more time. He shakes and jimmies a little bit, takes the defenders a couple more yards, gets up to the 35.
Williams coming back in now.
So
I believe.
When you've got 3rd and long-ish, about 3rd and 5 now from the 3rd and 5 from the 35, 36, however you want to call it. So it is actually, it looks like Williams and Ochoa are both going to be in there, because here comes Ochoa to give the play call. Was that Williams that came back in?
I don't believe it was. That was my mistake. It was number 11.
You're good to go. That's fine. So Caden Ochoa is going to be in a pistol formation with Trayvon Jackson at the wing.
Oh, they have a true 2-quarterback system.
Keontae Bell in the backfield with Ochoa. There is a timeout. It looks like Paul Gola has called for a timeout with 4 minutes left here in the second quarter. So the Drillers with 3rd and 5 at their own 36-yard line, but trail 14-7 against Garces.
They trail 14-7. They are going to have to figure out how to get this first down here, and I think it's still 3rd and manageable for them. And clearly with Ochoa in the game, I don't think they're too eager to throw the football here. We'll see what they decide to do.
A couple other top 25 action that we have for you. End of the first quarter, BCHS with a 14-0 lead over Chavez. 4th and 4 for the Eagles coming out on the Chavez 39 when play resumes at halftime. Still scoreless, like we said, over at Independence against Tehachapi.
Williams has completed just a couple stats from this one, Trevor, if you don't mind. 5 of 7 passes for 57 yards. Bell 8 carries for 53 yards. He also had the 7-yard touchdown run. McGill leads the way with 3 receptions for 33 yards thus far on the Garces side of the ball. Campbell's completed 4 of 8 passes for 63 yards in the TD. Martin, 17 carries, 64 yards. He also got in the end zone.
6 minutes left in the first half. Will Alexander, 27-yard touchdown pass to Zach Hartsfield, 21-3, Centennial over Stockdale. Here we
Ochoa
go.
back in under center.
Ochoa under center. Does hand it off to Keontae Bell, and nothing going there for the Drillers. You have 3rd and 6, and you decide to run the ball. Nice play there by Stephen Rowland with the tackle for Garces.
They might keep their offense on the football field, and they are. 4th and short here. 4th and 2, I believe. 4th and
3.
4th and 3. They're bringing the punting unit out now.
Here comes the punt. That's a smart thing to do. 3:35 and counting here. Garces is up 14-7 on the Drillers. Daniel Tobias, the junior wide receiver cornerback punt returner for the Rams, back ready to receive.
3rd punt of the game tonight for Bakersfield.
Jake Moran back. punt protection, but you're going to run the clock down here to just around 3:15. The punt goes off. Decent punt there. Tobias calls for the fair catch right around the 33-yard line. I'm not sure why they're calling it the 40 when he caught it down at the 33. So Garces will take over. There is a holding call against Garces, so that will put the Rams back after the fair catch at the 33 by Daniel Tobias. Once again, we thank Rita Michelle for all her work tonight. I think she's a little chilly. We might need, ladies and gentlemen, if you're here at the Garces game, come bring some hot chocolate. Oh, nope. She's worried about the heights. Not a fan of heights is Rita Michelle, our director, who is also our host of 5 of 4, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't checked that out, every day at 4 o'clock on Bakersfield.com. Rita Michelle gives you all the up-to-date news around Kern County, Monday through Friday, 4 o'clock. Rita Michelle.
Same situation here as the last time Garces took over. The only difference is the last time they took over, there were 6 minutes on the clock. Now there's 3. There's nothing they would like more than to go into halftime with this lead and with the football and maybe with a score. Campbell's got some legs.
So
he
Campbell
gets nailed out of bounds.
Oh, he takes a big hit there by Keontae Bell, the two-way superstar for him. So it's actually a loss on the run.
Big loss, about 5 or 6, I'd say.
So he gets out of bounds, he stops the clock, but that's the last thing you want to do is actually have negative yards, especially with this offense that is predicated on the run in Isaiah Martin. So you're down to the 23. It's a 3-yard loss, so you got 2nd and 13.
This comes down to simple execution for Bakersfield High. If they tighten things up, they can win the football game, but they can't keep shooting themselves in the foot. I feel like we keep saying it.
So here we go, 2nd and 13, 3 minutes exactly on the clock. Garces has a 14-7 lead and the ball at their own 20-yard line. Joseph Campbell, the sophomore, in shotgun formation in the backfield, hands it off to Isaiah Martin, who gets by the first line of defense up to back to the original line of scrimmage, right at the 25. So he actually gets about 5 yards there. So we've got 3rd and 8 now, and it looks like that's going to be a quick timeout here. So 2:50 left here in the second quarter. Garces with the ball. They will have 3rd and long at their own 25.
Well, again, like you said, Trev, it's 3rd and long. And the question is, what do you do here? You give the ball to Martin. One would think they're going to throw the ball and try to pick up the first. They'd like to get the first. They'd like to keep the clock moving. They'd like to keep the chains moving. They'd like to remain a threat going into the locker room. So we'll see what they can do in this type of scenario. Bakersfield High, 2 timeouts remaining. Garces with their full 3 allotment to go. So this is an interesting situation here that the teams are facing.
A couple scores from around the county. Braden Wingle to Devion Miller, 25-yard touchdown pass. And BCHS, once again, the SSL, up 21-0 over Chavez with 11:23 left in the second quarter. So here we go, shotgun formation once again. 3 wide, motion, pass out.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Nowhere to run. That is Daniel Tobias on the catch, and the entire BHS defense is all over him. So that is actually a negative play for about -6 yards. Looks like there is a timeout on the field. No player injury, just hanging out. So we got 2:42 left here. You like that?
I do like that.
So we got ball back down to the 23, so a 2-yard loss. So we're back to.
Trev, I'm sorry, who caught that football?
That was number 2. Daniel Tobias.
Okay, thank you.
That was a forward pass.
Yeah, it was a loss of 3 on the play. Bakersfield High calls the timeout, if I'm not mistaken. 2:42 to go.
Left, yeah.
And again, if they just clean things up and they execute, they should be right there. They're down a touchdown here.
After scoring 51 points last week, Highland now leads Foothill 49-14. End of the first quarter, Liberty with a 6-0 lead over Frontier. So there you go. You can't really judge a team on a 5-0 record. You can't judge a team really on a 1-4 record until you really get that same type of competition on both sides of the ball. And that's the great thing about when you get into league. You throw away, as A.J. Gass said the other day, they're glorified scrimmages, if you will, in non-league. because the games really do matter now and what you're going to do and how you get seeded in the playoffs. Obviously, when you're playing section-to-section opponents, they do matter, but what really matters is that league title and getting in the playoffs. So a punt here for the Rams gets by just past midfield, goes all the way down to the 40. It looks like it's going to be downed right there at the 12 by Austin Giggy. So the Drillers down 14-7 to Garces here on the road at Sam Tobias Field. 2:31 left here in the second quarter. So we got 61 yards for the Drillers in the next 2:31. But again, BHS defense doing exactly what they need to do. 2 consecutive 3-and-outs against the Rams.
Yeah, they needed that, and it should be 3 straight, to be honest with you. They shot themselves in the foot that one time. Williams back in the game, which I like because, again, he keeps you honest with the passing game.
Option. He keeps it up the middle. I apologize. He actually hands it off.
Believe that's...
And it was Trayvon Jackson, who has been spending a lot of time on defense lately after being one of the lead running backs for the Drillers. Nice carry there. Gets about 7 yards to the 46. So we've got 2nd and 3. Clock running. 2:09 left here. Quick snap. Ball goes to Trayvon, and a quick hit there. Wow. Big, nice hit by J.P. Lefevre on the tackle. So, hit, yeah, exactly. Get that license number, J.P. Lefevre, because he hit him right there. No yards. So, quick pass, incomplete. So, Williams with a quick pass tries to get it out there to Justin Wilkie.
Yeah, Bakersfield's offense hasn't been much more effective, though. I want to say that's their 2nd or 3rd straight 3-and-out as well.
Yeah,
so
you've got basically the last 4 drives where each team has been 3-and-out, 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 3-and-out.
Yeah.
So here you go. The defenses are stepping up while the offenses are kind of faltering. If they both had decent drives on those scoring drives to make it, and then the Rams come back, and then all of a sudden they're both kind of faltering here. So with 1:45 left here in the second quarter, BHS has to punt it away from their own 46-yard line. And once again, the Rams will get the ball back, but you got to figure with a team that's so predicated on the run, what exactly can the Rams do?
Well, 1:38 to go here, and one thing they definitely don't want to do is turn the football over in this situation. They force a turnover already tonight. They do not want to give it back in this type of scenario. So we'll see how they elect to go. Bakersfield High, I want to say they have no timeouts remaining. So realistically, Garces could kind of run out the clock here and just take it into halftime with a 14-7 lead. We'll see what they elect to do. Campbell has shown ability to throw the football when he's had to.
Joseph Maya took a 10-yard pitch for West. The Vikings have a 14-10 lead over East with 4:30 left in the first quarter. That included a Dante Mason catch for 27 yards for the
He's
Vikings.
got his man. First down. He's on his feet. He's gone. No, he's
nice
not.
Nice pickup there by Justin McGill. But once again, Zach Hebert, the big playmaking ability for Garces and the Rams, just in the blink of an eye. A short pass from Campbell to Hebert. Hebert does the rest of the work, does get picked up and brought down.
I believe that's it.
But we're down to the 31-yard line with 1:27 left. So, you know, if that's what Garces needed, that's exactly what they got, was a long touchdown pass. So we've got a timeout here. Garces, 1:27 left. I mean, Teddy, you look at that play. I mean, you know, if they're thinking that they're predicated on the run, they get away. And Zach Hebert, you know, one thing that you lose when you don't have LeBrevion Austin out there is that downfield threat. But if Hebert's able to catch the ball and get through the defense and go, I believe, 60 yards on that pass play. About 32 yards, excuse me.
No, I thank you very much, Coach. I have a coach brushing bugs off my back. That's much appreciated. The bottom line is he's been highly effective in the passing game. Campbell's been looking his way. He took it from about the 25-yard line of Garces down to the 31. So we're looking at about a 45-yard pickup through the air there. Garces has kept them honest enough through the air, and that's key. Really nice strike and great run after the catch. He found him single coverage on the outside, and Bakersfield High was keyed in on the run there, and rightly so. It's incumbent on Campbell and Hebert to make him pay through the passing game, and they just did right here, right now.
So here we go. 1st and 10 at the BHS 31-yard line. Joseph Campbell in shotgun formation. Swing pass out to Giggy one more time. Gets it up to about 28-yard line, so just about 3 yards down. Clock still rolling. Garces does have 2 timeouts. So we're at the 28-second and 7. 106 and counting. Ball snap right around the 1 minute mark now. Campbell in the shotgun formation. Hands it off to Martin. Martin gets by the first line of scrimmage. And you know what he does, what he needs to do? He runs straight out of bounds to stop that clock. So he gets down to the 29-yard line. So actually about a 1-yard loss. So we've got a 3rd and 8 for Garces. So you've shown the ability to pass the ball, but when you have a defense like BHS and they know you're going to throw the ball, how are you able to throw the ball now against a defense that knows you're going to throw the ball now with 53 seconds left and 3rd and 7 at the 28?
Well, they're going to have to do it. They have 3 wide receivers along the left-hand side. Martin and Campbell communicating in the background. The backfield.
Campbell steps back.
Look out.
Pressure.
And he's sacked.
Sacked. Great pressure there for the Drillers. I believe once again that is the senior captain, Jacob Zimet, with the sack back at the 34-yard line. So if you wanted anything in the world, that's the last thing you wanted, was for Campbell to step back and get sacked. But with no timeouts, BHS is not going to be able to stop the clock. So it looks like Garces is going to be able to run this out, and we're going to go into halftime with 0-5 Garces leading 2-3 BHS 14-7 here at the halftime, and the SWIL opener for both squads.
Yeah, it's nice for Garces to be in the lead at halftime, because the reality is I don't think coming into this game many people expected them to get the W, so this is nice. They're calling a timeout here. They're going to take one final shot at the end zone,
which will be really interesting to see what they're able to do, because there's no point in punting here. You don't have a kicker that has the ability to kick a 55-yarder.
No,
so, yeah, why not with
take
7 seconds left? The last thing you want is a shot into the end zone that is not defended well, or is defended well, and the offense is nowhere around there with so many playmakers in the secondary. So it'll be really interesting what Garces is able to do here. But, Teddy, I got to tell you this. For a team that, you know, is down and out without a win this season, the Rams are playing about as good as they can against a team that is the defending Central Section champs like the Drillers.
and they've contained them offensively. I mean, the one time that Bakersfield High did drive downfield, they had to earn their keep. So it's not like they're breaking off big plays. If anything, Garces has been on the receiving end of the big play. They've gotten some out of their offense, mainly the 45-yard pass on this particular drive. So they're doing what they had to do. They're playing mistake-free football. They're winning the turnover battle. They're winning the penalty battle. And they're containing them from an offensive standpoint. You know, they're not giving up the big chunk play, and that's key for them. Here we go, shotgun formation. Campbell back there, obviously. They're going to look to air it out right here.
No Isaiah Martin in the offense.
Look out, that's
there
a
is
fumble.
a sack, and there is a fumble, and it will be recovered by Garces, but it does not matter. There'll still be 2 seconds left on the clock here. So depending on what Paul Golan wants to do here, not a great way to end this first half for Garces. It is a sack. They do recover it, but it doesn't matter if one team or the other recovers it. You still have to be able to get that ball down the field and really run the clock out here. So you got 1 second left. So BHS is going to be given the ball. What can the Drillers do here? Obviously, you want to bring in Cam Williams, or are they just going to come in, down it? But Cameron Williams does come in. I mean, why not give it one shot down the field? It's not as if he doesn't have the arm. He does have the arm to be able to get it down to about the 10, 15-yard line here.
They have nothing to lose in this situation. It is worth pointing out, I believe they start the second half with the football.
That is true. Garces did start the ball off with the ball. So whatever they do, it looks like it is a victory formation or down formation. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We are at halftime here for Sam Tobias Field here at the campus of Garces Memorial High School. And the Rams, winless this season in non-league play, have a 14-7 lead over BHS in the Southwest Yosemite League opener for both teams.
(14-7) football game. Let's run through some stats. Campbell, quarterback for Garces. That would be Joseph Campbell. He's completed 6 of 10 passes for 105 yards. He also hit his favorite target, Zachary Hebert, for a 30-yard touchdown in the second quarter to put Garces ahead 14-7. That's where the score stands right now. Hebert has 4 grabs for 90 yards. He picked up a big 45-yard catch and run here to close out the first half. Then again, Garces could not cash in, up 14-7. They had the football at the Bakersfield High 30, but they were stopped then and there, and that's where we stand right now. Isaiah Martin, no secret, they like to run the football at Garces. They like to run it with their big back Martin, 19 carries, 68 yards, a touchdown. He's a bowling ball of a running back, a state caliber high school wrestler. Definitely a tough player, not a fun kid to tackle. Again, 19 carries, 68 yards, and a touchdown for Isaiah Martin, standout running back for Garces, which leads 14-7 at the halftime over longtime rival Bakersfield High. Looking at Bakersfield, Williams, quarterback. Trev, can I just get a...
Cameron Williams.
Cam Williams, spectacular athlete.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember, this is just his 5th day.
Yeah, this is the third, 4th day on the job. Cam Williams, I should have known that, though. Cam Williams,
go,
5 of 8 passing, 57 yards. He's also ran the ball effectively out of their triple option offense. Keontae Bell, 9 carries, 55 yards. He also had a 7-yard touchdown scamper at the 11:51 mark of the second quarter to tie the game 7-7. They've mixed in some other runners as well throughout the course of the night, but Bell has been the bell cow pretty much throughout. And a sprinkling of receivers have also gotten involved in the mix. Justin McGill, though, the leading guy there, he has 11 grabs for 33 yards. Key stats of the game here so far, Garces of 8 first downs, Bakersfield High just 5. Bakersfield High flagged 6 times for 35 yards. They also lost a fumble. Garces took that fumble. They cashed in on the first quarter fumble at midfield. Garces went downfield, and they scored a TD to take a 7-0 lead. So 2 things that Bakersfield High couldn't have happen, turnovers and penalties. They're losing both battles here. They need to clean things up in the second half if they want to beat their rival. The bottom line is Bakersfield High, pound for pound, probably has more talent than Garces this season. That takes nothing away from Coach Gass and his team at Garces. They're a tough team. They're a hard-nosed team. Just calling a spade. But Bakersfield High Garces is beating Bakersfield in key categories: the penalty category, the turnover category, and on the scoreboard 14-7.
Well, there you have it. Around the county now, let's go ahead and look at it. John Metis, our new sports reporter, he's over at West High, and the Vikings have a 14-12 lead over East. Also Highland at halftime. Undefeated Highland versus winless Foothill. A 56-14 lead for the Scots at the half. So Highland looking to go 6-0, and this will be the longest win streak in the 47-year history of Highland High School. Liberty, 1-4, taking on 5-0 Frontier at home. The Patriots take a 14-0 lead on a 56-yard touchdown pass from Isaiah Hill to Winston Jounty. Dante Mason had a 27-yard touchdown pass earlier in the first half for West. Moving through, Will Alexander did have that 26-yard touchdown pass to Zach Hartsfield, and Centennial has a big 21-3 lead over Stockdale. That score came in with 5:40 left in the second quarter. Also, at halftime, Tehachapi Independence in the SYL opener, 2 teams tied 0-0. In soccer, you would call that 0-0. So around the county, another Will Alexander with a 5-yard touchdown pass to Zach Hernandez this time. It is now 28-3, Centennial over Stockdale in the first half. So Centennial, a team 1-4 in non-league schedule, came off a tough loss last Thursday at home to third-ranked Clovis West, and Centennial's offense looking very dominating so far against Stockdale in the SWL opener, with Will Alexander, who's been one of the best quarterbacks in a while. Another score here for the Patriots against undefeated Frontier. So when you look at strength of schedule, Teddy, I mean, we're going to talk about this over and over and over again here over the weekend. Sammy Stewart with a 48-yard touchdown run, and the Patriots now lead Frontier 21-7 with 7:18 left in the first half. And so you look, again, we're talking about strength of schedule. You're looking at a Liberty team that played number 1 Central. You're looking at a Liberty team that played number 2 Buchanan. You're looking at a Liberty team that had a tough loss against Ridgeview, where you really didn't know what was going on. They had 2 offensive linemen out in that game. And you have a Liberty team lost to an Oaks Christian team that's ranked in the top 25 in the state. All of those games, much better teams than anything than Frontier played in their first 5 games. And you love the story. We had Chris Bandy on the show yesterday. You met him for the first time. We had Alex Tyler, and we had J.J. Flores, and they're excited. They love the atmosphere. They're, it's the type of thing that you love as a high school football player, to have people around the community and school, congratulating you on your 5-0 start. And then you got a Liberty team that's, taking their licks against some of the best teams in the state. And then all of a sudden, here are the Patriots up by 3 scores, and we still got 7 clicks left in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, you alluded to it earlier, Trevor. I mean, you take some early season losses. It's just important for fans not to draw conclusions from those early season losses per se. You might see a team with 3 or 4 L's on their record, maybe 4 or 5, and the reality is that they're just playing. In this state, in this area, I mean, there are some first-rate football teams. And, when you take them on and you run the gauntlet and you elect to challenge yourself, there's a good chance you're going to lose the football game. That doesn't mean you're a bad team. And then, like you said, you get into league play. Water typically kind of evens out, as they say. And I think you're seeing a direct result of that right now. So just take the early season records with a grain of salt. And really, the bottom line is this: see where the dust settles when the season's over.
Well, Teddy, let's take this time now while we're at halftime. We got about 13 minutes left till the second half starts. You are now in your 5th day here at the Californian. You are a new sports editor. For local sports fans that are wondering exactly what's going to happen with the Californian, especially with the sports section, give us a little synopsis of what you think, and let's just go through Christmas and see exactly what you expect and what you're excited about and what you're hopeful for that sports fans can expect out of the Californian, something that has been at the forefront in front of this community for over a century.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you're going to see top-notch high school sports coverage first and foremost. I mean, I think most of our listeners are wondering about, they're probably listening for a reason. They love their high school ball in the area. And the bottom line is this: we want to give readers what they want, and we want to give the players out there exactly what they're looking for, just in terms of recognition. We want to give in-depth analysis. We want to give accurate reporting. We want to call it like it is, and we really want to give coverage that no one else is doing. But the bottom line is this: when you have a reporter like Trevor, when you have a Mike Griffith, John Mettis, obviously coming on board as well, we have a talented group there.
I got to tell you, great hire on John Mettis. Who did that? Who brought that young man in?
I think it may have been Trevor Horde and perhaps my predecessor.
Yes, it was. And
I know it wasn't me.
Well, I'm really excited. John Mettis, who's covering the game East at West right now, so he's checking out some old school football here in Bakersfield tonight. But what I've been really impressed with him, Teddy, is that he hit the ground running. Monday afternoon, took him over to Cal State, introduced him to Rod Barnes, a head men's basketball coach, obviously the man of men over there, over at Cal State, and really jumped into it, started asking him some hard-hitting questions, was really knowledgeable, just like yourself. You guys really kind of understood what this community is like before you guys even got here, and that was great. He got out there, he talked to the volleyball team, he talked to the soccer team. He's working on a feature on a local Bakersfield Christian golfer that we know by the name of Matty Daniel. So he's out there and he's getting everything, and now he's doing high school football. So, while we were kind of short-staffed there for a while, with about 6 months with Jeff Evans out before he announced his retirement 2 months ago, this is a good time to be around sports here in Kern County with high school football, and we got playoffs coming around the corner. I know tennis playoffs are going to be announced in a week and a half. Volleyball just got started off in league play. And you see Garces, the Rams, now 4-0 in the SWIL, and number 3 in the Central Section, which I'll tell you this right now, that's exactly where they're going to be in our rankings, which come out on Monday. You've got water polo here at Garces and everywhere else. Cross country heating up a big meet tomorrow morning out in Clovis.
Yeah,
so
no,
I mean, it's all over the place.
John's a talented kid. I will say. I mean, you got to be willing to come in and work if you're coming in October. We kind of were thrown into the fire right out of the chute, but that's the way you should want it. I mean, I think that I think overall Bakersfield, this isn't new territory for me in the respect that. It's not my first rodeo as a sports editor. I bring experience to the table. I know what the local community wants, both from a readership standpoint, digitally, and the print product. None of that stuff is foreign territory whatsoever. And I think overall, in general, I think Bakersfield is a good sports community. I mean, I think the high school sports, there's clearly talent here. All you got to do is look out on that field tonight. I'm excited to get to know the coaches and the communities and the players and the families and everything that goes with that. So I think it brings a lot to the table in that. It's a working class community. It's a family-oriented community. All the things that I value and cherish as an individual, I think Bakersfield brings to the table. So I'm excited about that. And, of course, you have the college here. You have the minor league hockey team here. So you have
Condors on the ice
absolutely.
Tonight.
They opened their season at Stockton. So, obviously the Edmonton Oilers AHL affiliate in town. So you have a little bit of everything here,
right.
And I think that you have a very knowledgeable community and fan base for all of those sports. So I'm super excited to be here, and I think the best is, clearly yet to come. You learn the community and you grow with the community, and I think big things are in store for our department.
Major League Baseball update. Dodgers, top of the third, big 4-0 lead over the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Redbeard himself, Justin Turner, with a 3-run homer. Puig with a RBI double, and through 2 2/3 inning, Clayton Kershaw doing what Clayton Kershaw does. 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. Did just give up a home run, though, so it is now 4-1 Dodgers over the Diamondbacks.
What inning are we in?
And we're in the top of the third. So Clayton Kershaw doing what Clayton Kershaw does best. But he does give up a run, so it is a 4-1 Dodger lead over the Diamondbacks. And for you guys that love Boise State football as much as I do, they have a 10-0 lead. 3:42 left in the second quarter over BYU. Why do I say that? Because I will be there in 2 weeks.
Who are you going to see?
On. They're going to play Josh Allen, Fireball native, and the Wyoming Cowboys.
It's a great game. Halftime show here, Bakersfield High at Garces, 7:37 before these two teams take the field. But if you're just tuning in, kind of a surprise on the scoreboard. Garces ahead 14-7 over Bakersfield. Garces has ran the ball effectively. They've gotten some big plays through the air. Bakersfield High, from an execution standpoint, certainly could take some steps forward in the second half. I think they're kind of beating themselves in a lot of respects, but the reality is they're 0-5 rival that has a 14-7 advantage.
Well, and here's the thing, too. I'd be remiss if I didn't remind everybody this is the 70-year anniversary of Garces. They did recognize a few individuals before the game. One of them, Gary Ogilvie. If you don't know the name Gary Ogilvie, then let me tell you who he is. He's a longtime Garces and Tehachapi head coach. Actually was the head coach that Steve Denman replaced in 1982 before he took on his 34-year, 301-win career before Doug DeGear took over this year up at Tehachapi. So Gary Ogilvie hanging down here with his own personalized jersey on right around the 30-yard line. The trophy between Tehachapi and Garces is named after Mr. Gary Ogilvie. So when you look at historical great football coaches in Kern County, at the top of the list, always and forever, will be Mr. Gary Ogilvie. So we enjoy having him around here. A couple other Major League Baseball updates. The Astros did beat the Red Sox 8-2. So the Red Sox and Josh Bennett are down 2-0 in this ALDS.
Yeah, sorry, Bennett.
And they're looking like they're going to get ready for spring training here soon. And the Indians now have a 2-0 lead in the series over the Yankees with a 9-8-1 in 13 innings.
Great game there.
And then the Cubs doing what Cubs
Yanks
do.
down 0-2 as well. A lot of Yankee fans out there. Yanks down 0-2 as well. Both of those series, Houston, Boston shifting back to Boston. Cleveland Yankees is shifting back to New York. I will say Cleveland has really been hot for the last 2 months.
Give it up
to
Kyle Kendricks tonight. 3-0 win over the Washington Nationals for the Cubs. 7 innings, only 2 hits, walked 3, struck out 6. But the big number, the big 0 under runs. So the Cubbies take Game 1 in the NLDS, 3-0 over the Nationals.
And you're rattling off baseball scores, and all sports are the same in this respect. And it brings my attention. The Cubs are really peaking at the right time as well. And in all these sports, whether we're talking football, Major League Baseball, the great teams peak when the time is right. And I'll be honest with you, we see an 0-5 Garces team on the field right now. We see a 2-3 BHS team. It's really not about how you start. It's about how you finish. And for every team out there, their goal, particularly in football, but get better every single week. And I'll tell you right now, if these two teams can do that, there'll be two happy coaches out there. So that's really the point of all these sports. I bring that to the attention, obviously, because I feel like the Cubs have gotten better as the season's moved along. Ditto for the Indians. So
I feel like we were having conversations in June where it was like the Dodgers, nothing could go wrong.
Precisely.
Nothing could go right for the Cubbies, and then all of a sudden that 13-game losing streak for the Dodgers, coupled with with Chicago kind of coming into form, and it's one of those things where you
want to peak at the right time.
You do, and you kind of look at Major League Baseball this year, and you kind of knew who the haves and the have-nots were, and you wondered if there were a few teams that kind of coasted into the postseason, and then there were a few teams like the Cubbies that were just trying to find their sea legs underneath them. Because really, I mean, when you think about how long they went, 107 years without a World Series title, and they get that first one for Cubs Nation. I mean, there's got to be a hangover that lasts for a long time.
Well,
man.
When you go through something like that, and you go through the long drive of the season, and you go through a postseason run, and you play in the playoffs. The bottom line is that you're not maxing out at the beginning of the year. You know the appropriate time. You know when you have to peak, when the time is right. Ditto for the Indians. I mean, the Indians made the World Series last year. They recognized the fact that our money's made in October. We got to get into the big dance. When we're in the big dance, we're going to peak there. So, those two teams are experienced teams, and ditto for these teams on the football
exactly
field
what I was
right
gonna
now.
say. That was a transition. That was as perfect a transition as we could have. I am Trevor Horn. This is Teddy Feinberg, our new sports editor here at the Bakersfield, California. We are here on BVarsity Game Night, brought to you by Garces Memorial High School, which is actually where we're at tonight at Sam Tobias Field. The Rams have a 14-7 lead here. We got about 3 minutes left here in the first half, and that transition you're talking about, Paul Gola always talks about his football teams are not meant to be at their best in September. They play the tough schedule. They play Chaminade, they play Valencia, they play Orem, so that when they get into October and November football, it gives them a chance to be playing the one thing everybody wants to do, and that's December football.
Absolutely. You want to get better every single week, and you want to be playing your best ball come postseason time. No one wants to peak in week 3, week 4, week 5. You want to peak in weeks 10, 11, 12. That's where you're going to make your money. So that goes for both of these football teams right now. I think Garces has looked very good in this game despite the 0-5 record. I would rather start slow and end fast than the other way around. So they're looking good. And on the flip side of the coin, Bakersfield High needs to execute better because, I mean, they're leaving things out on the football field here tonight. 14-7 score. I think they'd be the first ones to tell you they think they should have cashed in a little bit more.
As we look north into Oildale, we can see the lights from North High. And that game got a very late start, and they're just now ending the first quarter. Scoreless in the Battle of the Sword, North and South. South has owned that. Last time that North won in this rivalry game was in 2010, and it has been running away for the Rebels over the last 6 years. But as you see, South kind of getting run roughshed over the last 3 weeks, and North, despite having 8 turnovers against Monache 2 weeks ago, they only lost by 1 point, and then they beat Tehachapi last week 13-0. So you got to figure that the Stars, after they had their dinner with the Rebels on Wednesday night, they had really felt like they had a chance to win this football game, and now here we are up in Oildale, and it's a 0-0 tie.
Well, it's a little funky. You get off to what was the late start for? I mean, you get off to the late start, and
could it be a homecoming? Could it be an injury? Could it be a late run? A flag happy, junior varsity game? Those things all happen. So as we run through a couple other updates, Tehachapi capitalized on a short field position and scores on a Connor Tim run from the 3 yards out, and it's 7-0 Warriors lead with 7:40 left here in the third over Independence, who a team that just cracked the top 25 for the first time in some history. So here you go, Tehachapi, a team that didn't get on the board last week against North, going up against a very good defensively mindseted Independence team, and the Warriors on the road, not up in the mountain, they're down here in the valley at Tehachapi with a 7-0 lead in the second quarter.
We're under a minute here until the third quarter. Not to cut you off, Trevor. We're under a minute here in the third quarter. Garces is taking the football field again. Bakersfield High can't be very far behind them, so we're getting ready to rumble again here on the field. Trev, continue with some of the scores.
Here's another upset alert, if you will. Victor Lopez nails a 38-yard field goal. That's a big one at the high school level, and that gives Golden Valley a 3-0 lead at the half at Ridgeview. That's a big one. When you think about Golden Valley, only 24 guys on their roster. Ridgeview, a team that's beaten Liberty, that had a 39 loss at BHS in the Griffith Field opener last week. Do they have a hangover from that loss? Who knows? But Golden Valley, a team, really kind of lives and dies by Carl Jones. But here you go, you get that big right foot, and there, and it's a 3-0 lead for the Bulldogs there at the half.
Bakersfield High about to take the field right now. They just put 3 more minutes on the clock. I'm assuming once that ticks down, they're going to be kicking off the second half here. Bakersfield's got to be hungry here, down 14-7. They want a lot more on that scoreboard over a Garces team that frankly wasn't expected to win tonight.
A couple other scores from last night, one big one. Number 1 Central, undefeated, taking on undefeated number 2 Clovis Buchanan. Place I'll be actually at tomorrow night for my 20-year high school union. I do not feel that old. But
congrats on that, by the way.
Down 27-21 with 20 seconds left in the game.
Wow.
Trent Tompkins, touchdown pass, gives the Grizzlies the 28-27 victory as Central, a team that really has shown their might against teams like Ridgeview and Liberty this year.
Bakersfield
Stay undefeated, and Buchanan likely will stay at the number 2 seed in our BVarsity rankings. But when you look at the 1 and 2 teams in the Central section, that's exactly what you wanted to see, is a great football game. And the Central Grizzlies, who are the likely favorites heading in, get the victory on the road at Buchanan. BHS will get the ball here. We got about a minute 20 on that. Minute 27 left here.
The prepared Trevor horn for those up here, that are watching us. The man brought a pencil sharpener up here, and we need a pencil.
Pencils get dull. I don't like mechanical pencils. I don't think they give you a strong enough feel to the paper when you're writing.
I haven't used a pencil in 3 years, and I got to tell you right now, I do too. And I'm telling you, he brings a pencil sharpener. I'm very prepared, and you need the pencil when you're doing the stats. So kudos to Trevor on the pencil call. Now, Bakersfield High getting the football here to start the second half. We will see how they respond coming out of the locker room right now.
Teddy, you ever talked to an entire 20-minute halftime before?
Well, one of the interesting things about this is there's literally no commercial breaks. We are just literally, we've been talking for, what time is it? We've been talking for an hour and a half straight.
Yeah, that's what we do. We're both blowhards, so why not?
I don't think there were 2 people that were better catered for this scenario.
I'll tell you what, the guy that you took over for, Zach Ewing, that guy could talk and check his fantasy league football team. But, we will miss Zach, but we do appreciate you coming in, Teddy, because if there ever was a turnkey, if you would, you have really kind of come in and brought in what we need here at BVarsity, somebody that's digitally mindset, loves the broadcast, loves high school football. So here we go, start of the second half here at Sam Tobias Field on the campus of Garces Memorial High School. The Rams with the 14-7 lead over BHS. The Drillers ready to receive. You have
Peter Delis kicking off, and you have Taj Wright on the return.
So Wright is going to receive the ball right around the 6-yard line. He gets the ball, cuts right, waiting for that block, gets around, comes back around, and it looks like there's going to be a hold on Gavin Dingle there. So that ball is going to probably come back all the way to the 7-yard line. It looked like Taj Wright decided that he wanted to go about 50 yards to get about 2, and they're going to come back another 10 after that. That sounded about right. Was my math there? He ran about 50 to get 2, and they're going to be pulled back 10 yards.
I think you're just about right.
Because there is a hold there.
I feel like penalties have been a bugaboo with this team all season, and they certainly have been once again. That is the 7th flag on Bakersfield High this evening.
So there we have it. We're going to start here at the 9-yard line for BHS. And as we come out of the huddle, we're going to look and we're going to see.
Well, that's Williams back there for sure. Pistol formation with Bell behind him. He's throwing.
Steps back, finds sophomore Isaac Jernigan for about a 3 or 4 yard completion there on the hitch route.
We have a Garces player down, Trev, right in the middle of the football field about the 14-yard line.
Cannot see from our vantage point. Rita, can you get a little bit closer into that so we could see who the player down is right now? So officials timeout right now. Garces player down on the field. He's getting tended to. It looks like a lineman, the number in the 70s. So there's not that many players down there. So I don't want to speculate on exactly who is down on the field right now. But with 11:35 here in the third quarter, Garces has a 14-7 lead over BHS. The Drillers have the ball. About a 4 yard completion from Cameron Williams to Isaac Jernigan.
There's been guys even open in the passing game for Bakersfield High. I feel like that they have some opportunities here to make some moves. And he's up. He's walking off on his own power.
That is Caden Uribe, the junior offensive lineman, standing about 6'2", 218, getting up on his own accord, coming off the field. Look a little hobbled there on the right leg. But walking off, I'm sure he'll be back on the field, but here we go, the Drillers with the ball.
Name of the game here for Bakersfield, just simple execution. Stay out of their own way, execute, take what the defense is giving them, and they can make some moves here, I think.
2nd and 6, handoff now to
got
Keontae Bell. He got a nice little yardage there, nice little shimmy. Goes
First
up.
down for sure.
Yep, gets past the 20, probably to the 21 for Keontae Bell. Nice run up the middle for the junior linebacker, transfer from South High. Keontae Bell, if you don't know the kid, he's always got a smile a mile wide. One of the nicest kids you'll ever meet. When I did a story on South High, their basketball coach, we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of his death. South was rocked just weeks before the basketball season. But Clayton Madden, longtime basketball coach, comes in and helps them out, and Keontae Bell was key to keeping the smiles around there. So Williams with the ball gets it off to Justin McGill. Gets up. Ooh, big hit there. Standing up. You got to be really careful there, Isaac Bowers. You don't want to stand over a defensive.
And the reality is they're not worried about that. They're getting a cushion on the outside, and, that's going to be 5, 6, 7, in that case, 8 yards a pop. So There's an opportunity there in the passing game. As I said before, I believe there's a chance to make some moves in the passing game if I'm Bakersfield.
Pistol formation one more time, and the ball does go to Keontae Bell. Breaks up the middle. He's rumbling and stumbling. He's getting up to midfield. He gets up to the 47-yard line.
Fumble.
Ball is out. He tries to get that second effort. It does. Garces have the ball.
They're calling him. No, they're calling.
There you go. Daniel Tobias with the fumble.
They're calling Bell down.
Well,
as they should.
That is very much opportunistic on Daniel Tobias's part for Garces, but with a knee down for Keontae Bell.
He was down. That was the right call.
Any great young runner that works off of that second level is going to leave the ball exposed. They got to really kind of work on that, but he does get it up almost to midfield, so a big run there. So we're at the 46-yard line. Incomplete pass, nearly intercepted there. Pass was intended for Jernigan. Delroy Matkins on the defense there for Garces. So really, when you look at it, Keontae Bell, really 2 good runs here. Looked like he fumbled the ball, but it was right call. He had a knee down. So now we've got 2nd and 10 right at the 46-yard line. So
it definitely was
when you look at Bell, you look at second effort runners, and that's exactly what happens there. So pistol formation one more time.
Look out.
Single step drop. Oh, that looked like it was nearly intercepted by Daniel Tobias.
There was a play there. The receiver was open, but a miscommunication there, and Williams can't connect.
But Daniel Tobias, who nearly had the fumble recovery
could have had that pick.
Had a great jump, really did.
And again, Trev, this has been a theme of the night. We're looking at another 3rd and long situation. I don't think this is the spot either team wants to be in. And in this case, it's Bakersfield, 3rd and long from their own 47.
Taj right up north. Justin McGill down here on the bottom. Williams comes out on the run. He's looking for McGill. He runs out of bounds, though. And it looked like he had an open McGill, but Cameron Williams doesn't seem to be able to get the ball off. So here's a quick drive for the Drillers, just 1:58 off the clock, and they're going to have to punt from midfield. So the ball back to the 44. So it was actually a negative 2-yard run for Williams there on the quarterback keeper. He went out in motion right away. Looked like he had an open Justin McGill down here right around the 43-yard line. Didn't pull the trigger. Runs out of bounds. So with 10:02 left here, Garces will get the ball back at a 14-7 lead over BHS. Moran gets the ball off, and that is not a good punt at all, ladies and gentlemen. That ball stops, and I thought it went out of bounds on that first drop, but it looks like it's going to go to the 37 where it's picked up. And that's where Garces will start their first drive of the second half.
21-yard punt I got there. Garces, good field position here.
So that ball did go out of bounds. My eyes were not deceiving me. That ball did bounce out at the 40 and it came back into bounds, but it is right at the 40-yard line. So here we are, the Garces Rams. How are they going to game plan on this offensive series, their first one of the third quarter? after having success on 2 different drives, one being on the strong run game led by Isaiah Martin, who's dancing in the backfield right now. He's got a little shimmy going on. So obviously the Rams are really excited about having this 1-score lead. And here goes Martin, busts it up through the middle, through midfield. He cuts it up. He's at the 35. He dances around past the 30, down to the 27. He was dancing in the backfield before that ball was snapped, and then he busted right through the line, did a little shimmy, and he's all the way down to the 26-yard line.
34-yard gain on the play.
Absolutely incredible play. And if you're looking at a guy and you're wondering, what are you exactly doing, bud? You're dancing around. You only have a 1-score lead. But that's who Isaiah Martin is. He has fun playing football, and he has fun, and then he goes to work. And what does he do? He goes 26 yards. And once again, here's Garces running the ball, and Martin one more time busts it up the middle. He's stopped right past the line of scrimmage, gets about a yard. He's up to the 35-yard line, so we've got 2nd and 9. Let's go back to that first down play.
For point of order, that first down play was his 20th run of the game. He eclipsed the 100-yard mark, so we're looking at 21 carries for a $104 for Martin, and I don't think he's done. 38 carries last week. They are going to feed their man, especially with a 7-point lead in the ball in Bakersfield high territory.
So here we go, 2nd and 9 shotgun formation for Joseph Campbell.
Again, they spread the field to run the ball. It's interesting, 4 receivers, and we're looking at an offsides penalty on Bakersfield High.
BHS one more time jumps off. It looked as if that was Federico Salom jumped up. And so that's a free 5 yards, and after you just give up 26 yards on a run like that to Isaiah Martin, and you've seen that Campbell to Hebard connection, why are you giving them free yards?
Well, and again, it puts them in a 2nd and short or 2nd manageable. And that's where they want to be. Now you open up the passing game as well, and you keep them guessing.
So 3rd and 4 from the 20. Martin gets the ball, takes the first effort, drives
just as a
forward
point
to
of
about
correction,
the 17.
that was 2nd and 4. Now we're looking at about a 3rd and 2. So you keep Martin in the game with the 2nd and short and the 3rd and short, but now you also can maybe mix in some play action passing, so they're keeping them right where they want them.
So ladies and gentlemen, we do have an upset alert here, if you will. Garces Rams winless and outside of our top 25 rankings have a 14-7 lead over BHS here in the 3rd quarter.
We haven't seen either field goal kicker in this game. It'll be interesting to see what they do here. My bet is that
Martin's going to get the ball up the middle. 100% in my eyes. We'll see shotgun formation. Campbell with the ball. He does hand it off to Martin. But he is not able to get through.
He's dropped.
He gets that 2nd effort, but he has dropped there.
4th and 1
right around
situation
the 20 by
here, maybe even 4th and 1.5. 4th and a long run to be sure. 4th and 1.5. So big stop there, but you're not fooling anybody. They know they're giving the ball to Martin. And it looks like they're bringing out the field goal unit here, Trev.
So Peter Delis, the sophomore kicker, punter for the Rams, coming out. The ball is placed right at the 25-yard line, so we're looking at a 35-yard attempt by the sophomore for Garces, looking to get a 2-score lead for the Rams with 7:24 left here in the 3rd quarter.
This is our first look at either field goal kicker.
Ball is up. It looks good. Does it go through? And it does. So a 35-yard field goal for Peter Delis, and it is now 17-7 Garces with 7:15 left here in the 3rd.
Yeah, that was a nice kick. He really smoked that one through, right?
So a 35-yard field goal, and Garces takes an all-important 2-possession lead.
17-7 football game, 17:15 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Garces is ahead. They took a 14-7 lead into the locker room. Peter Delis, good from 35. Big play on that drive. Isaiah Martin eclipses the 100-yard mark on his 20th carry of the game. He broke off a 34-yard run, took it down to the Bakersfield High 30-yard line. They pounded it down to about the 20, even inside the 20. And Dulles did the rest from 35 yards out. He hit it with plenty of legs. So Garces feeling good about itself. 17-7 football game, and Bakersfield High still looking to hit its stride. They haven't really hit their stride in this game.
Can we talk about stubbing yourself in the toe again? You had offsides on 2nd and 9, gives them a 3rd and 4. And with an offense that can run the ball as well as Garces does, just allowed them to get into that field goal range.
And I think they're leaving some plays out there on the offensive side of the ball as well. I really do.
Taj Wright with the ball goes up midfield, leaps.
Flag.
But there is a flag on the field. So BHS with the kickoff return. 7:08 left here in the third. Let's go.
There's another flag that just came out, too. The original flag came out from a strange spot. It was the line judge on the near side of the field at the 40-yard line. Play was going on the far side of the field. He threw the initial flag. We have a holding penalty on Bakersfield. So that's going to be the 9th flag of the game.
35-0 lead for Bakersfield Christian over Chavez at the half. And ladies and gentlemen, check this one out. Highland is going to be 6-0, first 6-game win streak in Scott's history. Why? Because they have a 62-14 lead over Foothill here in the third quarter. East scores on a TD at the second drive after West fails. It looks like that is in the third quarter. We'll get a score update for you guys in just a second. But BHS here with the ball at their own 25-yard line.
I think penalties have been a problem for this team for the
Ochoa at quarterback,
season.
hands off to Keontae Bell. He breaks away a tackle, goes up, and gets the first down on about a 12-yard run there. Nice little run. Keontae Bell showing some nice moves there in the run game, which is something that BHS really hasn't been able to do with much authority so far this season. So without Shane Jones this year, they really needed somebody else to be that big playmaking ability in the run game, and it looks like Keontae Bell is starting to get into that form. So he goes 12 yards up to the 37.
Yeah, 12-yard gain there. He's been running the ball effectively. They need to execute offensively and make some plays here.
Caden Ochoa one more time in the pistol formation. There is Trayvon Jackson in the wing position. Bell in the backfield, handoff to Bell, and he is wrapped up right away. But he breaks some tacklers. Looks like he's going to push that pile.
Wow.
And instead of being a negative 3-yard play, turns that into about a 5-yard play. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was all Keontae Bell.
Yeah, I mean, that's turning something into nothing there. You take a 3-yard loss. You actually get a respectable 4-yard gain on the play, and you're looking at a 2nd and 6 here as you cross the 40-yard line up to the 43. Tough run. Actually, a 2nd and 5. Really impressive run there from the running back.
2nd and 5 up to the 43.
Bell's approaching the 100-yard mark as well.
I mean, you're looking at a 7-yard difference between being tackled in the backfield by Stephen Rowland. Instead, Bell keeps the ball and keeps rolling.
Ochoa is still in the game, pistol formation, Bell behind him. Ochoa actually throwing the football.
First pass
That's
of the game
not
for
gonna
Ochoa.
work.
That's not going to work. Incomplete pass to Keontae Bell, goes wide right, sails over Bell's head, and first passing attempt for Ochoa, no good. 3rd and 5 now at the 43 for BHS. Do you throw there, Teddy, with this offense with Caden Ochoa there, or do you hand it off to your workhorse, or even let Trayvon Jackson in that wing position take the ball?
I think when Ochoa's in the game, they're sitting run defensively, so you try to keep them honest. And if they connect, it's a great play call, but they obviously didn't.
Bell dances at the line of scrimmage, cuts through, spins.
Wow.
Keeps going again up to the 30-yard line. Ladies and gentlemen, a 27-yard run where he really looked like he could be tackled.
Yeah, but Trevor, we have
backfield.
a flag on the play, and it's going to be a holding on Bakersfield.
So you got a 27-yard run by Keontae Bell, nullified by a holding play. So again, we're going to keep saying this over and over and over again. BHS, a team ranked number 4 in our Central Section rankings, shooting themselves in the own foot. I don't want to use that terminology. I apologize. But they're not helping themselves out tonight.
Bear in mind, this is the first game I've covered here, and I don't want to be speaking out of turn. So please apologize if I am, but I feel like this could have been a common problem throughout the season for them. I don't know if flags is a new thing. It just happened tonight.
It is not a new thing that's happened to BHS this season. They have had the propensity to get in their own way. They're a very talented football team. And yet here on 3rd and 15 at the 33.
Bad habits can be hard to break.
Yeah, very much so.
3rd and 15 now, and again, you kind of put yourself
appetite.
into passing. Yeah, well, I'm right there with you. Those tacos were sensational pregame. Now, Ochoa's still in the football game, if I'm not mistaken here, and they're going to have to throw the ball here on 3rd and 15. So
Isaac Jernigan comes in and gets into the slot position. Keontae Bell. And Ochoa keeps the ball, In motion was Keontae Bell. Fake handoff from Ochoa, keeps the ball, goes up. But they needed 15, and they only got about 6 there. So in that position, do you wonder, do they bring in Cameron Williams for that one play on 3rd and long, or do you keep with
Well, again, when you have Ochoa in there, you're kind of saying we're running the football more likely than not, but I think they might want to make up some yardage here and put – Field position is still important in this game. You make up half the yardage, you punt it away. The punt here is going to be critical. Moran's been a busy man tonight in the punting game.
Yeah, so Jake Moran, the
Moran,
junior,
my apologies.
His older brother, Josh, as you know.
Fake punt.
Fake punt. Moran keeps the ball, gets a block upfield, moves ahead, and he gets over, and he does get it right at the 50. Smart play there. Jake Moran, the number 3 quarterback on the depth chart for BHS. Very good athlete, also a golfer, to mind you, if you will. Takes the fake punt, great block, and BHS, instead of punting on 4th and 7 at their own 43, gets 7 yards out of Moran to the 50, and this BHS offense stays on the field.
They needed that. I mean, they're kind of stuck in traction right now. That might give them a spark. It looks like Ochoa is staying in the football game. I think they like the consistency he's given their offense, definitely from a running game standpoint. Bell's been running tough all night, 13 carries, 97 yards.
There's a little wrinkle there. You have Max Lopez now at the H tight end position as a blocking back for Bell, who takes the ball, gets hit right at the line of scrimmage. Great defense
Nowhere to go there.
And, of course, led by Jack Tobias on the defense. And Brandon Pantoja, only 4 senior starters with experience prior to this season for Garces, and 2 of them we just talked about right there in Brandon Pantoja and Jack Tobias. Also Isaiah Martin, and the 4th one would be LeBrevion Austin, who was out this week with a dislocated elbow. So no gain there for Bell on first down. So 2nd and 10 from the 50. Bell gets the pitch, goes up, spins one more time, gets the first down yardage up to the 39. So 11-yard play, about 6 of that just off of his momentum, off the spin. So Keontae Bell, if I'm not mistaken, is probably inching towards 100 yards tonight.
Oh, he's over that mark. 15 carries, 180 yards. He has the lone touchdown on the night. Bakersfield High trying to get something going offensively here. They've rattled off some first downs this drive.
Are they desperate here, down 2 scores with 3-11 and counting here in the third
Well,
quarter?
I think the fake punt tells you all you need to know.
Yep, Bell one more time, shimmies.
Wow.
That's a horse collar if it's not called. I'm not sure if they're going to call it, but that definitely was a horse collar because Bell did get grabbed right at the top of his jersey and brought down. But before he did that, he gets up to the 35 for a 4-yard gain. No call there on that play. So, again, we keep going. We keep calling Keontae Bell's name. And we got 2nd and 6 now at the 35. 2:44 left here. We thank Garces Memorial for their contribution to this broadcast tonight. We are at Sam Tobias Field at Garces Memorial High School. The Rams, 17-7 lead over BHS. The Drillers with the ball at the Rams 35. Caden Ochoa at quarterback in the pistol formation with Keontae Bell in the backfield. Snap. Ochoa keeps it. Completes a pass to Justin McGill, able to break away from the defender, gets past the 25-yard line to the 24. So a first completion night for Caden Ochoa, and it's a first down. Drillers to the 24.
Their 2 receivers have had cushion on the outside all night. I mean, they have I would say about a 5 to 10-yard window every single time. You hit them in the numbers. You'll take 5 to 10 every single time, and I believe McGill just picked up 10.
Yep, and when you have D1 prospects at wide receiver like they do with Bell and McGill and Jernigan, you're going to get things like that. And it looks like it is going to be an offsides on Garces. Nope, I apologize. Dead ball, false start against BHS. Wow. So stubbing toe one more time, pushes them back 5 yards, back to the 29. So 1st and 15 at their own 29-yard line. How many penalties is that now?
It's 11 flags for 75 yards by my count.
That's a lot. That's a touchdown drive right there, Teddy.
Well, and again, one of them also, we'd be remiss, one of them came on a punt. It actually set up, in a sense, Garces' second touchdown. We got flags on the play here. And
are we going to get pushed back one more time? So now you've got a 1st and 20. So after the Drillers got down to the 24 after that nice pass from Ochoa to McGill, now they've taken back those 10 yards, and now it's 1st and 20 at the 34-yard line. So you had a 2nd and 6 at the 35. Now you got a 1st and 20 at the 34.
We said right at the top of the program, turnovers, penalties. They had 1 first half turnover. Garces has none. Their 1 first half turnover led to 7 points. We have 12 flags on the night for 80 yards. Some of them have been, come at critical times. One of them set up Garces' second TD. So the writing's on the wall, and the score 17-7.
1:28 left here in the third. 1st and 20 at the 34. Ochoa keeps the ball on the fake, cuts up the middle, nice yardage up to the 24. Almost gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
I think he did.
Right there at the 24. So we were back now 2nd and 10 after a 10-yard pickup by Ochoa. So a nice quarterback keeper on the option, gets them back. So now we've got 2nd and 10. So after 2 false start penalties, they get those 10 yards back, but you also lose a down in that, Teddy.
Well, they got to get nice yardage here because I don't think they want to be in that 3rd and long situation. Let's see what they want to do here. The 2 quarterback system. Ochoa's been getting some more snaps here the last few series.
Ochoa pump fake, goes deep. He's got McGill back there, double coverage, falls incomplete. Nice.
Could have been picked.
Could have been picked. That was Isaac Bowers back there along with Peter Delis. So nice defense there for Garces. Not sure if that was the greatest passing situation for Ochoa there because it was double coverage. Because
they're trying to take a shot, and they got some nice players on the outside. I feel like BHS feels like they can make some plays on the outside, and they're just missing by a few hairs. If you see the cornerbacks on Garces, they're playing off the line of scrimmage. There's some opportunities in the passing game. They just haven't been able to connect.
So here we are, 3rd and 10 at the 24 for BHS. 41 seconds left here in the first half. Ochoa with the keeper. Nice block. Gets up the middle. Nice little dance there, and it looks
tough
like
run, but we have a flag on the play at the 21.
So I feel like this is the same thing we had the BHS Ridgeview game last week.
We have a player down also.
We had over 30 penalties in that game between BHS, and this is a hold, I believe, against BHS. So there's Caden Ochoa getting first down yard markage. There's Keontae Bell getting first down yard markage, and then there's a holding penalty against BHS, which nullifies all of that.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big run by Ochoa. Tough run, too. He got stopped short of the marker. He kept churning. He got a couple extra yards, but as you alluded to, the flag negates it. And, I mean, we were talking 3rd and long and how they didn't want to be there. Well, now they're in 3rd and extra long. This is a 3rd and 20.
DJ Davis bursts up the middle and runs for a 55-yard touchdown pass for Highland, and we have our first 70-burger of the season. Highland leading 70-14 over Foothill.
Love the 70-burger.
Bryson Aguirre to Dorian Mitchell for 58 yards. PAT no good, but South and North are tied 6-6 with 4:52 left here in the first half. Independence defense stands tall and forces a turnover on downs after Tehachapi started at the 4. Score remains 13-7 to Tehachapi. Other scores. I believe we had another score. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen.
There's no need to apologize.
Ridgeview blocks a 20-yard field goal.
Here we go, Trevor.
And Ridgeview leads 7-3 over Golden Valley. So here we go.
I don't know what their field goal kicker situation looks like. Again, day number 4 for
me here at work. But it is 3rd down again after the hold. So Ochoa hands it off, keeps it actually. Nice defense.
Yeah, they could have thrown a flag there. He kind of roughed him up on the ground. They're bringing out a field goal unit here, so they get a chance to answer the 35-yard field goal. It's about a 42-yarder. We'll see what he brings to the table.
Rene Carrillo will be the guy lining up for the long field goal. A 40-yarder actually is going to come up here. But we do end the third quarter here with Garces leading BHS 17-7. So only 3 points scored there in the third quarter. But ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We have an upset brewing here at Sam Tobias Field at Garces. I'm Trevor Horn along with Teddy Feinberg, with Rita Michelle behind the camera. She gives me a funky look, as she should. N3 Garces has a 17-7 lead. Teddy.
Well, this field goal is going to be big. I mean, the reality is that Garces banged one through in the third quarter. Bakersfield High is going to have to answer here with one of their own and make it a 7-point game, and they're right back in the thick of things. You miss it, separation increases a bit.
Update here from West.
How's our guy Metis doing out there?
He's good. Look at that. We're getting video updates from him. Like I asked, he proceeds. But it is a 14-12 lead for East over the Vikings.
I hope he's having fun.
He always has fun.
Yeah, he does. He's a fun guy.
Not fungus, but a fun guy.
Here we go. About a 41, 42-yarder here.
Ball is going to be lined up right at the 31, so that is a 41-yard field goal for Rene Carrillo. First play of the fourth quarter, kick is up, and it is long enough, and it is good enough. So, ladies and gentlemen, we had a 35-yard field goal for the Rams in the third quarter. We start off first play of the fourth quarter with a 41-yard field goal from Rene Carrillo, and that two-score lead is cut down to 7 now. It is a 17-10 Garces lead over BHS after that long field goal for the Drillers kicker.
Well, they needed that bad. I mean, it's you keep it at a one-score game there. You answer Garces' field goal, and it's still a ball game. Now you need your defense to respond, but defensively hasn't really been the problem for BHS in this football game from my vantage point. And from Garces' side, I mean, it's no secret what they're going to do. Martin has 23 carries for 107 yards, and you got to think that they're willing to put him in the 35 to 40 carry range again, if they can get to that point. 11:54 to go in the game. You got the whole fourth quarter to milk. You have a nice long drive here. You get some more points on the scoreboard, and then you're back in business if you're Garces. So the pendulum swings back in their direction again. How are they going to answer after the Bakersfield High field goal? Ziggy and Tobias deep. Carrillo on the kickoff.
Garces student section, the band, the cheerleaders, really getting into this one, knowing their Rams have a chance for a big, big win here, up by 7 over BHS in the SWL opener for both teams. Ball, Daniel Tobias picks it up right about the 15, gets it up, keeps going.
Wow.
He's past the 40. Can he get past the edge? He gets stopped there right at the 44-yard line. So when you're looking for an offense that is predicated on the run, if you get good field position like that up to the 44 and a 7-point lead here in the fourth quarter, you're smiling if you're A.J. Gass and his coaching staff.
Good field position. I hate to beat a dead horse, but Bakersfield High in the last drive had a great return from Taj right out to the 45. They had a holding penalty and brought it back. Garces is staying out of those issues. They have great field position here. They're going to give the ball to their big back and see what he can do again.
Team playing with discipline right now is the team that has the 7-point lead. Sophomore Joseph Tobias in the backfield in shotgun formation with Isaiah Martin.
Campbell
throwing. Stays back, drops it
He's got
off.
He's
got a guy up top.
Him.
No good. The pass was intended for Austin Giggy. Double coverage there. Nice defense by BHS, so that forces a 2nd and 10 at the 45 after the incompletion for the Rams. Nice look there by Campbell.
They're
nice
picking
fake.
and choosing their spots, and the guy was open downfield.
Yeah, a first down, nice fake out of the shotgun formation to Martin. Kind of brings the defense up just a little bit, but the safeties for BHS don't bite, and they play that ball well. So the Rams now with 2nd and 10 at their own 45.
Yeah, you got to keep them honest, and they are. My money's on Martin here.
Yeah, Martin gets the ball, gets past the yard. Line of scrimmage up about 3 yards to the 48, so a 3-yard run.
Yeah, looking at a 3rd
there.
and 7 here.
So another 3-yard run, but you want a 3-yard run on first down. You want a 5-yard run on second. Set up a 3rd and 2nd. Not an incompletion on first and a 3-yard run on second.
I don't disagree. Campbell's got to make something happen here. He has in the passing game. Let's see what he can do. He also has the legs to make some plays there. So one would think they're going to put it in their quarterback's hands here, and it could be going to number 1. He's had a big night.
Zach Hebert has had a great night here tonight. Almost offsides by BHS, but they do not jump. Ball goes to Martin, but he is picked up right away. Max Lopez there on the first effort.
We're looking at a 4th and 6 here. The exchange wasn't great there. There was a bobble on the exchange.
Yep, Federico Salam also there on the first effort there for the BHS defense to stop Martin there on 3rd and long.
And again, they got to stay out of the penalty situation here. We saw this earlier. 3rd and 4th and 7.
So after a long field goal to cut it to 1 score, BHS defense does exactly what they have to do. Taj Wright actually picks the ball up. Now, I don't know if he ever actually called for a fair catch there.
He did.
Okay,
he did.
Maybe he was just trying to get a little one over on the refs there.
There's a flag.
That is a flag because he did call for it and run. So he's putting himself out there in harm's way. So that is going to be, a penalty against BHS. So again, Taj Wright's got to be smarter than that. If he knows he's waved it off as a fair catch, he shouldn't be trying to run for the ball there. So BHS, the ball that was at the 13-yard line, are going to be pushed back again. And when you're trailing 17-10 with 10:27 left here in the fourth quarter, you can't be doing those things. So, ladies and gentlemen, one more quick reminder. This is our BVarsity Game 9 of the week. I am Trevor Horn, along here with Teddy Feinberg. We do thank Garces Memorial for their contributions to this broadcast. Caden Ochoa once again.
He made a mistake letting it bounce to begin with, and then letting it.
Ochoa to Bell, gets nothing. Great defense there. Ooh, boy, Brandon Pantoja wraps him up right away at the line of scrimmage. So it's actually a negative 3-yard play. So you got 2nd and 13. So great defense there by Garces. And, you know, when you talk about it, and you look at this Garces team, very young, very talented, and they've been led by 4 seniors. One of them out is LeBrevion Austin. You've got 3 seniors, 2 of them on the defense at linebacker, Jack Tobias and Brandon Pantoja. And we continue to call their names tonight over and over again for a reason, because they are leaders and they're great football players. So now we have 2nd and 12 at the 11 for our BHS.
Well, they've been sticking with Ochoa for the most part in the second half.
Drops back, incomplete pass right over the head of Isaac Jernigan. So no way for anybody to catch that ball. So now we've got at the 11-yard line a 3rd and long for BHS. They trail Garces 17-10. If you don't complete this pass, because you've got to figure it's going to be a pass, you got to punt the ball away, and then you don't want to give field position back.
If you want a first down, you got to think it's a pass. I mean, the last thing I want to do is...
Or do you do what they've done a couple other times and fake the option to Bell and allow Ochoa to run the ball up the middle?
I believe Williams is in the game.
Ochoa's still back in there at quarterback.
He is. My mistake.
With Bell, fake, and there is Ochoa with the keeper. Does cut up the middle, keeps churning yards. He's up to the 19, maybe actually about the 18-yard line, but that is about 4 yards short of the first down. So here comes the punt team for BHS, 9:32 and counting, and the Drillers have to punt away as they trail Garces 17-10. Here as the clock is ticking away.
There's a player down here for Garces as well. 3rd or 4th guy they've had down in this one.
Can't tell if those are cramping or what that is, but yeah, we have had about 4 different penalty stoppage times for injuries against Garces tonight.
Well, the writing's on the wall. If Garces gets the football back, has a time-consuming drive, and gets more points on the scoreboard, it's really going to put Bakersfield High in a difficult spot here.
Right.
I mean, you know that's what they're gunning for.
A couple other updates we have here. Shafter, 28-0 lead over Taft. Started the 4th quarter. We're moving into the 4th quarter. East leads West 19-14. Also, Centennial still ahead of Stockdale, 28-3 heading into the 4th quarter. And we do have our first final of the night. The Highlands Scott 6-0 for the first time in school history after a 70-21 win over Foothill. So you have the first 6-game win streak in Highlands history. You have a league opening win for the Scots, who you've got to figure are going to be the favorites going in their final 3 games of league play, looking for their first league championship in 47 years of history for that great school here on the east side of Bakersfield.
I'll tell you, too, you got to give credit where credit's due. And Garces is playing hard. They're playing a good football game, and they deserve a ton of credit.
That's a big loss right there for Garces. That is Jack Tobias, the senior outside linebacker for the Rams.
Well, let's see what his status
doesn't look
is.
good. He's holding his left arm right now. So that defense for Garces needs Jack Tobias in that football game if they want to keep this lead. But here are the Drillers having to punt away. Hope that's not a big injury for Tobias, because he is already down one of those 4 seniors with LeBrevion Austin. You can't afford to lose another one. So here's a pooch punt, and that's great field position for the Rams to start off. That ball's going to stop at the BHS 42. So the Rams will take over with 9:07 left here in the 4th quarter, and they have a 17-10 lead, ladies and gentlemen, over BHS. So when you're looking at an 0-5 Garces team, you throw all previous games, all records out when you start league play, because this is exactly why you do this. Because you get games like this. You get Liberty leading Frontier 21-0. You get Garces with a 17-10 lead over BHS.
They're playing a good football game right now, and the bottom line is they're in prime pouncing position. 1st and 10 from the Bakersfield 42-yard line. They get a drive here, and they're putting the finishing touches on the sucker.
Martin with the ball, rumbles up the middle, goes by the line of scrimmage up to the 40, so it gets about 2 yards. So if you're BHS right now, you love the fact that he only gets 2 yards on first down. The clock keeps ticking, 8:54 and counting. So the Rams go to their bread and butter. That is the 26th carry tonight for Martin.
13.
Yeah, he's got 113 yards. No touchdowns. but he is workman-like mentality once again for the Rams. They're going to milk this clock all they can. They're going to do what they have. They're likely going to run the ball here again.
They're going to milk this clock, and they need this first down. They're in prime pouncing position to get the W here, and they know it.
Defense all shifts here to the south side of the field. And Campbell hands it off to Martin. Wow. He busts up the middle, and it looks like he may have gotten the first down. It looks like they're calling for it at the 31.
I think he's got it.
He needed 8. He got 9, so that all-important first down markage. That's a big 9 yards for Isaiah Martin. Gets a first down and keeps the chains moving for Garces. 8:15 left here, 17-10. And when Garces gets down here at the 30, you think they get about another 10 yards. They're going to make this another 2-score lead if they don't turn the ball over.
At this point, I mean, every first down matters. And again, they've played a complete football game, and they are trying to put the finishing touches on it with a touchdown right now. You can sense it.
Martin goes wide left. Campbell steps back, fires.
Ooh.
Incomplete. It looked like he wanted his receiver to go out to the right.
Yeah,
Isaac Bowers had different idea on that, so that's not a bad play at all. That was good. That was a good call there for Garces on 1st and 10.
Yeah, they mixed the passing at the right opportunities, and if he connects there, it's a really big play. We could be singing that tune a handful of times tonight. And again, they smell blood in the water here, and they're trying to go for it, and I can't blame him because I feel the same way.
So here we go, Joseph Campbell in shotgun formation one more time. 2-back set. Isaiah Martin again in motion out here to the right. Hand off. Ball goes up the middle. Nick Tobias, another Tobias brother right here at Sam Tobias Field, gets up and he gets past the 30-yard line. Gets about 1 yard. So now we've got 3rd and 9 now for the Rams. So
yeah.
I mean, are you? So we're at the 28, so we got 3rd and 8. So you put Martin out in motion maybe as a decoy, hoping that the defense bites on that. The defense does it. The ball goes to Nick Tobias, and here we have a 3rd and 8 at the 28. 7:18 left and counting. Garces with a 1-score lead.
Your kicker showed plenty of leg last time, and I think there's some flexibility in the play calling. They might give the ball to Martin here.
Campbell back, gets rid of the ball.
He's got his man.
He's got Hebard one more time. Big first down play down to the 18-yard line. So that's exactly what Garces wanted to do. Like you talked about, Teddy, that flexibility into play calling because you do have a Peter Delis leg. So a first down, and now the clock is going to tick under 7 minutes. And Garces, they're in the red zone.
They're right where they want them, and they got their big back to plow the football forward with now. You can really eat up the time. Another first down for Garces here, second first down of the drive. And let's not overlook Hebert's contributions. 5 grabs, 100 yards, and the go-ahead touchdown at this point.
So here you go. This looks like it's going to be Isaiah Martin territory.
Fumble.
Great defense there by Caden Ochoa. All right, so the ball does stay with Garces. There is no fumble there. Great pressure there by Caden Ochoa to get Martin in the backfield. So a negative 1 yard play. So we're back to, actually it looks like a negative 2 yard play. We're back to, we're going to stay at the 18 for 2nd and 11. Sorry about that, folks. We both wear glasses.
We definitely do.
So the ball is just past the 19. We're at the 18, so 2nd 11, 6:12 left here and counting. 17-10 lead for Garces. They have the ball at the 20-yard line at BHS. Joseph Campbell, the sophomore quarterback, back, drops the ball, incomplete.
Flag.
Justin McGill, not a smart play there, sir. Defenseless player, and that is going to be a 15-yard penalty against BHS. And when you talk about stubbing your toe one more time, that's exactly what happens there. Great defense. He bit on that play. He had great anticipation on that, but then just makes a mistake that you don't want to make.
They're talking about it here.
He didn't hit him to the ground. There was contact. I don't know if he was targeting or not. He did hit him with his arms right around the number. So if you're going to talk about targeting, by the rules and regulations of what it is, I'm not sure if Justin McGill, was it a smart decision to do that? No. Was it targeting? We'll see what the white hat decides here.
Yeah, let's see what the flag is.
So we're talking about an incomplete
pass.
There's
2 flags. There's a flag at the 20, and there's a I wonder what the second one might be.
So that was an incomplete pass. I believe that was that number 12, Austin Giggy, or was that Drew Mosley, number 13? I apologize.
That I am not sure of.
Okay, so the White Hats here are still talking. The referees
Well,
are still
I
talking
wonder.
about
I
this
wonder if
photo
it's
archery
offsetting penalties.
It is a 17-10 lead for Garces. 6:02 left here. So you have a personal foul against Garces. And then dead ball foul, personal foul.
They're going to replay the
BHS.
down here. Replay second down, 2nd and 12.
Yeah,
replay
exactly.
The
play never happened, so we replay. And so we do have a 2nd and 11 once again from the 18. So that last 5 minutes, can I have that back and we go to Tacos de Leche and get another couple tacos?
I would love to get a couple more tacos in there. 2nd and 12, 6:02 to go, 17-10 Garces. They are back. Driving
picked
the
flag
football
back
here.
up off the field.
Yeah,
right
it wouldn't
there at
hurt
the
to
line
do
of
that.
Yeah, you don't want to get anybody confused. There you go. He puts the ball down. It looks like the ref is going to pick it up. He's got a beautiful mullet, and ladies and gentlemen, I do like it.
I mean, he really took his time getting that flag. We're good to go here.
Trips right, single formation to the left. Martin in the
Did they
backfield
move
with
the ball
sophomore.
back? They're saying 3rd and 17 here. Little confused.
We are 3rd and 17 now at the 26. So, yes, one of those plays was a 15-yarder against a 10-yarder, so that's a 5-yard penalty push. So it's 2nd and 17 from the 26. So Joseph Campbell, 6:02 left here in the backfield with Isaiah Martin. Rams have a 17-10 lead
False
over
start
BHS
penalty.
and a false start against Zach Hebert. So that's an extra 5 yards back. And so what is happening right now is the Rams are doing BHS things tonight. So now we have 2nd and 16 that actually pushes them out of field goal range at this moment.
The bottom line is they need a nice, healthy 10-yard pickup here to get back into field goal range. Their kicker showed a very certifiable leg in the 3rd quarter. They need to make up for half of this down and distance situation here and put them in range.
So Campbell has had some great pass connections with Zach Hebert. The two have connected for over 100 yards, receiving on 5 catches. Isaiah Martin has been the workhorse for the Rams, and here we are in the backfield along with Campbell. Takes the snap here at the 32, drops back.
There's a flag on the play.
There's a flag on the play, and the ball dropped by Cameron Williams right at the 5-yard line.
And just for point of order, they changed it to 2nd and 22 there. So that was actually a 2nd down play, incomplete pass. There's flags in the middle of the football field, and we'll see where this goes.
Dead ball, false start against Garces. So another 5-yard penalty for a Garces team that really has been mistake-free all night long. This all-important drive, trying to get that 2-score lead, has been nothing but stabbing themselves in the foot.
They're pushing it back. I'll tell you right now, they're fortunate that ball wasn't intercepted.
Cameron Williams was back there, and yeah, this is a quarterback that evidently, forgot how to catch the ball, because that did hit him right in the numbers,
right in the bread
right
basket.
around the 2 yard line. So they're all the way back to the 37-yard line. So 2nd and forever, probably my age. Martin with the ball gets wrapped up at the legs by Max Lopez. So Martin gets up to the 34-yard line. So when you've got 2nd and forever, that's not really what you need. You don't need 3 yards. You need 13 yards. So as the clock ticks down, 5:40 and counting, the Rams trying to get into field goal range. BHS trying to stop them. So in this instance, it looks like it's in BHS's favor right now. Try to get the ball back with enough time.
Again, they're looking to get into field goal range here. You keep the clock going with the play call to your horse. They're going to try to get a 10-yard pickup here, 10 to 15, to get into their kicker's range. Let's see what direction they go to.
26 yards to go here on
he's
33,
sacked.
and he is
Well,
sacked.
they're not in range from there.
No, they are not. And that is Adrian Moreno, who was out last week with a shoulder injury, comes in and makes a big statement play there with the sack. So with 5:04 and counting left here in the 4th quarter, Joseph Campbell sacked right around the 45-yard line. We do have another penalty here. Holding against Garces. That play is going, obviously that penalty is going to be declined, and the Rams will have to punt it away from the BHS 45. So after all of that, the Rams had gotten down to the 17-yard line on a pickup by Isaiah Martin, which was a beautiful first down play, and then all of a sudden just stub your toe, stub your toe, stub your toe, and now you got Vince Fanucchi down there running up and down the sidelines trying to figure this out just like we are, exactly what happened to the Rams there on that drive.
Well, penalties happened. I mean, you can't allow that to happen, and they're letting Bakersfield High stick in it with those penalties. It looks like we have a timeout here for Garces.
We have timeout Garces, 4:52 left here in the fourth quarter. Teddy, I mean, your thoughts on this?
Well, I think that they had a golden opportunity to kind of salt the football game away, and then ironically they took some steps backwards from a penalty standpoint. And Bakersfield High, as frustrating as a night as this has been for them, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, their defense, they wreak havoc up front. I think they've done a very adequate job defensively. But as frustrating as it's been from an offensive standpoint, a penalty standpoint, for them to be getting the football back at this juncture of the football game, 4:52 to go, you're down 7. This is a good chance for them.
It appears, I do not have a score or how they did it, but it appears that Independence has won. They did defeat Tehachapi at home on homecoming. So Independence 1-0 now in the SYL after beating Tehachapi. Also, Braden Wingle and BHS up 42-0 on Chavez in the fourth quarter. It was Marcus Moreno with a 35-yard touchdown reception in the end zone from Sergio Borello. After the PIT, Falcons win this one over Tehachapi 14-13, punting away for Garces now at their own 45-yard line. Yeah, there are bugs all over us, and they're starting to creep into my shirt, ladies and gentlemen. This is not ideal, but you know what? We got a football game. Punting away. That is Taj Wright takes the ball. He's got a nice block there. Comes up the field, stumbles, dropped right around the 18-yard line. So that's where BHS will take over the ball. And we got a ghetto bird hanging out here on the east side of town.
They've had a couple, I'll say, not great punt returns in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter, right with the flag on the fair catch, and there he fields the ball just about inside the 10-yard line.
So, Teddy, I'm going to pose this question to you. You got 4:41 left in the game. You got 81 yards in front of you. What does BHS do to try to at least tie this game here?
Well, I mean, from a personal standpoint, I do think they have to throw the ball with some level of effectiveness. They're sticking with the Choa here, so they're going to be ground-oriented.
Ball goes up the middle to Trayvon Jackson. Looks like about 4 yards. So with 4:35 and counting, the clock is going to keep ticking. But the Drillers do get up 6 yards to, it looks like, the 25 on that second over. So Jackson on the run there. We haven't called his name a lot here tonight. We had called his name plenty earlier in the season. But with the Keontae Bell taking over. So one more time, here goes a pitch out to Gavin Dingle. He breaks through, gets past.
Wow.
Oh, man, and he gets tripped up. If he doesn't get tripped up there, ladies and gentlemen, that's 7 for BHS. But instead it is a first down.
He stepped out of bounds at the 32, 8-yard gain. Was that Dingle?
That was Gavin Dingle, number 20, but it is still a first down at the 32 for BHS. So you look at that play, and there's your big playability right there that BHS nearly had. But
they have not popped off a big play all night. Is this the time they do it?
Ochoa with the ball, pitches one more time. I believe he gives the ball one more time to Dingle. I could be mistaken. But that ball goes up near the 40, but it looks like it's being called out at the 36. So Gavin Dingle one more time with the ball. We're up to the 36. Sorry, they're saying that was Taj Wright in that play. I'm not certain on that, ladies and gentlemen. But we have a 2nd and 6 now. We got 4:02 left here. The clock has stopped because he did go out of bounds. So Caden Ochoa under center. Trayvon Jackson behind him. You got 2 split out right here. Ochoa pitches off to Jernigan. Jernigan this time loses the ball, but it goes out of bounds. I'm sorry, he does keep the ball.
I think he stepped out again.
He did step out again. It looked like the ball kind of came out, but he did hold on to it. So now another first down for BHS.
Well, they got some momentum going here.
It's a great option attack here by Ochoa. So that was a 8-yard gain now. So you got first and 10
Jernigan on that?
Yes, that was young number 22, Isaac Jernigan. Sorry, not 22, 25. Isaac Jernigan. So Ochoa under center again. The clock has stopped at 3:57. BHS trails Garces 17-10.
Yeah, he's running the option well right now.
And if they can keep it going, that's exactly what they need. Jackson keeps the ball on first contact, gets over midfield, pulled down at the 49. So the Drillers, after starting the drive on the 19, 6 plays later, and they're across midfield, and we are in a hurry-up offense for BHS. 3:42 and counting, 2nd and 3 at the 49.
A lot of cushion of these wide receivers in the pass game.
Ochoa keeps it this time, wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Great wrap up there by Caden Uribe, who was injured earlier in the game, comes back. Nice wrap up, 1 yard play, 40 to the 48, 2nd and 9.
Well, Bakersfield High has not been able to pop off the big play. They've come close a couple times on this drive, 3rd and 2.
Ochoa with the ball, drops it off to Trayvon Jackson, but he rumbles and stumbles, gets the first down, and now BHS is up to the 37-yard line, an 11-yard carry.
Yeah, Jackson's been a big contributor on this drive.
Yep, we've seen him break off. He had one last year against Pleasant Grove, 188 yards. He had an 82-yarder against Edison in the first game this season. So he has that ability. He's a little short, stocky guy, but he can run the ball. He stays in the backfield with Ochoa. Dingle in formation. Jackson keeps the ball, runs up the middle, almost to the 30, stopped at the 31, another 6-yard gain. So the Drillers are just churning and churning and churning on this drive. 2:47 left and counting, and it's a 17-10 Garces lead. Drillers in hurry-up formation. Ochoa one more time with the ball, hands it off to Jackson. Jackson gets it up, goes about 3 yards. He's going to be just short of the first down marker.
Jackson's been churning it out. They're really motoring. 3rd and very short.
3rd and very short. I mean, we're talking about they need the 27. They're just short of the 27. So here's Ochoa with Jackson behind him in a 3-point stance.
Back to
Dingle
Jackson
in the
here.
wing. So Jackson one more time, but Ochoa keeps it, needs 1, gets 2. So BHS up to the 26-yard line and a first down, 2:13 left here. That clock will start running once the chains are set. So BHS down by 7, has the ball at the Garces 25-yard line with 2:11 and counting left. Ochoa keeps the ball, drops back. He's got a receiver wide open. Touchdown.
No, flag on the play, incomplete pass, flag on the play. It's going to be a pass interference call if I'm not mistaken.
So that was Justin McGill back there in double coverage. It looked like Ochoa had a good look at it. McGill
DB
looked
never
like
turned,
he had it. DB
never turned around to play the ball.
Yep, good call there. Sorry, I got a little excited by that because I couldn't really see all that far onto the sideline. So here we go, a BHS team that had been stubbing their toes all night long, and now Garces is the one doing it here in the critical parts of the game with a 7-point lead.
The penalty situation, ironically, is, I'm not going to say it's evening itself out, but it's getting a little bit closer to the mean.
If BHS is able to score a touchdown and get that PAT, it definitely has evened out, and that is Jack Tobias, I believe, down there on the sidelines with his left arm in a sling. So part of that running ability for BHS may be predicated on the fact that Jack Tobias is not on the field.
Let's not forget, Garces also penalties killed their last scoring drive inside the 20. They eventually got pushed out to outside the 45.
So what we have is a 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line for BHS with 2:02 left here, down by 7. Ju Garces, ladies and gentlemen. BVarsity Game Night of the Week is living up to that stature. Ochoa with the ball. He pitches out to Isaiah Jernigan. He rushes up and he gets down to the 2-yard line. So BHS within 2 yards of tying this game now with 1:54 left. So the sophomore, Isaac Jernigan, with the nice run off the pitch from Caden Ochoa. So here we are, 2nd and 1 from the 3-yard line. Caden Ochoa with the ball under center. Long decision to keep it or go, and we have a touchdown, ladies and gentlemen. That is a 3-yard touchdown run for BHS. That is big Trayvon Jackson after a long decision whether or not to keep it or hand it off. BHS scores the touchdown. And so now we are just one play away from whether or not we have a tie ball game here with 1:50 left.
I'll tell you what.
Was that Jackson, by the way, Teddy?
Was that Jackson? Yeah, it was Jackson, and they used a lot of backs there. They threw Jernigan at him. They threw Jackson there. They threw Dingle there. They threw a lot of backs that we haven't really seen. It was Wesley Wilson. My apologies.
Sophomore Wesley Wilson.
It was Wesley Wilson on that. So they threw a lot of backs out there. The reality is that we're entirely utilizing this game, but they have a lot of athletes. They are going for 2. They're going for 2 with 1:50 left. Garces calls timeout. BHS looking to take the 1-point lead on the scoreboard. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe they've led all game.
They haven't. Garces got on the board first, and BHS has not taken it.
Oh, they're looking for their first lead of the game with a 17-16 situation. And 150 to go in the game. Timeout situation. Garces has one remaining. Bakersfield has all three left. 150 to go, 17-16 Garces. BHS knocking on the door after a touchdown.
Teddy, I got to keep asking this question. How much does Jack Tobias being down on the sideline with his shirt off and his left arm in a sling manifest itself in BHS being able to run the ball so well, 81 yards on this drive?
You want players out there for sure. I think Ochoa's done a masterful job running the option. I'm going to give credit where it's due.
But you look at Garces, they've been able to contain BHS all night with Tobias and Pantoja there at linebacker. You take out Jack Tobias, one of those senior leaders for Garces. How much does that have to do with it? So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. BHS down by 1 with 1:50 left. They are going for the 2-point conversion and the victory here. If this doesn't excite you for league opener, I don't know what does. So Caden Ochoa under center here. Trayvon Jackson in the 3-point stance behind him. Isaac Jernigan.
We have a flag and we have an offside.
So at this point,
they're going to move it right down. Unless it's half the distance to the goal, it's certainly going to be closer.
Oh, so you're going to bring in your jumbo package here. You get Keontae Bell and a couple big boys like big Jordan Phillips, it looks like, coming in. So, yeah, you're going to run the ball right up the middle with Keontae Bell here. So that moves the ball up to the 2-yard line for BHS. So with 1:50 left here, BHS looking for the lead. First one of the night.
Whatever they were going to do from 4 yards out, they're feeling really good about it.
So Trayvon Jackson's got to get
out.
off the field right now. Taj Wright goes in motion to the top side. Keontae Bell in the backfield. Bell gets the ball, goes up, scores, dances, and ladies and gentlemen, BHS has now taken the lead for the first time with 1:50 left. The Drillers down 14-7 at halftime, now have an 18-17 lead over Garces. So Garces, a team that is undefeated, has been winless all season long, had the lead, but here we go. The Drillers march 81 yards down the field and then take a big chance with the 2-point conversion with Keontae Bell, and it's an 18-17 lead.
It's also worth pointing out Garces is a team that obviously likes to run the football. $1:50 to go. They're down 1, and they only have 1 timeout left at their disposal. They've had some players on the ground in the second half, so they only have 1 timeout remaining in this game, which is really an interesting subplot with $1:50 to go. 18-17 Bakersfield High. I believe that was Bell's first carry of that drive.
All right, we're going to let Teddy Feinberg go down to the field so we can get some post for me. So I am Trevor Horn. Teddy, thank you for everything on the broadcast tonight. Yep, go ahead and leave those. He's going to get some interviews for us so we can have a good story for you in tomorrow's Bakersfield, California. Don't forget our post-game show is coming at 11:15 tonight. Myself, Teddy, Josh Bennett, and John Metis will be in studio after this one is over. But ladies and gentlemen, we got a great one here. So here it is. BHS kicking off and leading for the first time tonight, 18-7 at Garces. So the Rams will get the ball back and needing to score here with just under 1:50 left. Teddy, you might need your phone. All right, so very exciting final drive for BHS there. It goes 81 yards, just churning the ball. No pass completions, all that. All runs either by Gavin Dingle, by Trayvon Jackson, by Caden Ochoa, and then finally it was the sophomore Wesley Wilson with his first touchdown run of the season with the score that got him within 1, and then Keontae Bell, who has been on the ground for BHS, with the 2-point conversion on the run, and the Drillers take the 18-17 lead over Garces in a very thrilling Southwest Yosemite League opener here at Sam Tobias Field. Once again, we thank Garces Memorial for the contributions to this broadcast tonight. BHS kicks off from their own 40. Ball goes down. Austin Giggy with the ball. Takes the ball up to the 27-yard line where he is stopped by a flurry of BHS defenders. So Garces down by 1. First time they've trailed all night long. 1:45 left. And the Rams figuring you've already had a 35-yard field goal by Peter Delis. Need to get within the 25-yard line for a chance to win this game. But they've got 72 yards in front of them. 1st and 10 here from their own 28. Joseph Campbell, shotgun formation. Isaiah Martin in the backfield along with him. Snap. Campbell out of the shotgun. Steps back. completes the pass to Giggy, gets about 1 yard, stopped short. The Rams with just one timeout.
Pass complete to Giggy. Wilson on the tackle.
So a 1 yard pass from Campbell to Giggy. We're up to the 31-yard line. 1:18 left here and counting. The clock is ticking, folks. The clock is ticking. There's a flag on the field here. There's 1:15 left. Garces with 2nd and 8 from the 31. Another false start. So Garces, after having such a great game, another penalty there. 7th penalty tonight for Garces. Drops him back 5 yards. So we'll replay 2nd down at the 26-yard line. So 2nd and long, about a 2nd and 13 for the Rams. Campbell back in shotgun formation with Martin in the backfield with him. He out of the shotgun, long pass intended, but it is broken up by Cameron Williams on 2nd and long. Nice defense there. That ball intended for Jackson Brooks sailed long. That's a second pass deflected for Cam Williams, who we haven't seen a quarterback here in the second half for the Drillers, playing very well at the safety position. So now we've got 3rd and 13 for Garces, a team that had a 14-7 halftime lead and had a 17-10 lead with 2 minutes left in this game, now trailing 18-7 with exactly 1 minute left in this game. 3rd and 13, Campbell in the shotgun, steps back, good position, connects with Hebert. He gets away from the defense, going up, and it looks like he got the first down, and he does. Needed 13 yards, he gets 14, so the Rams are now 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line, but there's 53 seconds left. So big 14-yard pickup. So Hebert now with 6 catches for 114 yards. Campbell, pass deflected there. Caden Ochoa on the defense. So Joseph Campbell now needing to pass the ball. Not much that the Rams can do. They can't run the ball. They've only got 1 timeout left. And they're down by 1 with 40 seconds left at their own 40-yard line. So sophomore Joseph Campbell, who has 2 different games of 250 yards passing against Memorial and Tehachapi this season, that big right arm is going to come into play here with 2nd and 10, 47 seconds left on their own 40, down by 1 to BHS. Campbell drops back, steps up, keeps the ball, runs up to the 50, knocked out of bounds, and that is a flag by Cameron Williams. Hits him right as he steps out of bounds, and that's going to be a 15-yard penalty after he picked up 9 yards. Not a smart play by the junior for BHS. Gets called for the penalty. So the Rams, with 40 seconds left here, they're getting very close here to field goal range for Peter Delis, who already has a 34-yard field goal. So not a smart play there. So that was a 9-yard pickup for Campbell, and then the personal foul against Cameron Williams. And now Garces, after being 3rd and long at their own 40, are now at the BHS 35, and they're getting very, very close to field goal range for that sophomore kicker, Peter Delis, who already has a 35-yard field goal tonight for the Rams. So 40 seconds left here. 1st and 10 for Garces. Down by 1 to BHS. BHS took the lead for the first time on that 2-point conversion by Keontae Bell. But here's Campbell at the BHS 35. Steps back, hands it off to Martin, who rumbles and stumbles, gets up to the 30, keeps going, and now he's up to the 29-yard line, but the clock keeps ticking, so he goes 29 yards, up to the 29 yards, a 6-yard run, so we got 2nd and 4. Clock is ticking, 25, 24. There is a BHS player down on the field, so we're going to have officials timeout. So that is Cameron Williams down on the ground right at the 32-yard line. So the clock stops here with 23 seconds left. BHS leads Garces 18-17. Garces, which had 2nd and 13 at their own 40. Sophomore Joseph Campbell goes for the run, gets 9 yards. As he goes out of bounds, he gets knocked to the ground. A 15-yard personal foul against the Drillers. Put the Rams to the 35-yard line, and then a 5-yard run. For Garces. Now 2nd and 5. at the 30, 23 seconds left here. Campbell, shotgun formation, hands it off to Martin. He's stopped at the right line of scrimmage, gets the ball again, but clock is ticking now. 15, 14 seconds left here. We're down to the 26. It's not a first down. The clock does not stop. So it looks like the Rams are going to try to get one more play off. He got about 2 yards on that run, on his 30th run of the night. So here we go, a timeout by Garces. 2 seconds left to play. So the ball is at the 26-yard line. You add 17 yards to that. That is a 42-yard attempt for sophomore Peter Delis coming up for Garces. BHS leading the Rams 18-17. We have 2 seconds left here in the game. Do or die, Rita. What do we do here? Obviously, they're going to kick it. How much confidence do you have in your sophomore kicker right now, Peter Delis? He already had a 35-yard on his only attempt tonight. Conversion good. And so you've got you got to have a lot of faith in a sophomore. Does he have it inside of him? Not just the right leg, but to be able to get this kickoff and not have the nerves. Now, BHS does have 3 timeouts left here, so we'll see if they try to ice him here. I don't see Paul Gola anywhere near a referee on their side of the ball. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Win or lose here, Peter Delis, a 44-yard field goal attempt with 2 seconds left. And Taj Wright, offsides, leaps over the sideline, and that is a 5-yard penalty against BHS. So a 44-yard field goal attempt now becomes a 39-yard field goal attempt. Why? Because BHS all night long, 16 penalties for 115 yards tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And so here we go. Now at the 22-yard line, this is a 38-yard field goal attempt with 2 seconds left for Peter Delis. BHS comes victory. Garces comes victory, depending on how this kick comes out. Here we go, 2 seconds left. Let's let it play out. Here's the snap. And a timeout. BHS does ice him.
No, it's a flag.
Oh, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. There's another flag. So do we have another offsides against BHS? At what point do you say, do not go along the line of scrimmage? That is 5 more yards. And now that 38, once was a 43-yarder, goes to a 38. Now it's a 33-yard attempt, which is obviously in Dell's wheelhouse. So with 2 seconds left here, that ball has gone from the 29-yard line down to the 16-yard line. So now it is a 23, a 33-yard attempt for Peter Delis. 2 seconds left here. BHS leads Garces 18-17. This for the win. Snap is up. Kick is up. Short. It is good, ladies and gentlemen. It goes right up the sideline. And Garces with the stunner. Peter Delis, 33-yard field goal. The sophomore, the students storm the field. And Garces gets their first win of the season with a 20-18 victory over BHS. If you couldn't have called a bigger upset of the night, how is that a sophomore kicker with a 33-yard attempt and Garces wins it? My goodness, ladies and gentlemen, what a ball game. Holy Toledo is right, ladies and gentlemen. Garces needing everything they can. BHS handing them an extra 10 yards.
33-yard field goal to win it. Final score, Garces 20, BHS 18.
Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen, just trying to tweet out that score. This is Trevor Horn here for BVarsity Nightly. And the BVarsity game night brought to you by Garces Memorial High School. And Garces is victorious tonight with a 28-18 win over BHS. After leading the entire game, Garces gave up an 81-yard drive to BHS, which took the lead on a 2-point conversion by Keontae Bill. The Rams got the ball back with just over a minute left. We're able to get up to midfield, and then penalty after penalty after penalty, 3 straight, took the Rams from the 50 down to the 23, and a 33-yard field goal by the sophomore Peter Delis. And The Garces Rams are on the win column for the first time this season with a huge upset over number 4 ranked BHS. Garces 20, BHS 18. The Rams 1-0 in the SWL, now 1-6 overall. The Drillers fall to 2-4 and 0-1 in the SWL. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Trevor Horn. For Teddy Feinberg, who was down on the field, trying to find, I'm sure, AJ Gass down there somewhere, and Rita Michelle and Spencer Hermson, we appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed tonight's BVarsity game night, game of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what that was. Garces celebrating a huge win tonight over the Drillers. Good night, and we'll see you in an hour and 10 minutes on BVarsity Live post-game show right here at on our Facebook page and Bakersfield.com.